it does not in fact match that.
His character token's
It's
a dwarf.
my character token's a dwarf. My picture is a legacy from a previous campaign, but it's changed.
I don't even remember what my avatar is. I have it like minimized in all things.
You're just like a blue-haired thing.
Oh, it's
I think that's duplicitous, isn't it?
That's not duplicitous.
I thought it was the blind raven.
Yeah, it's the blind raven.
Yeah, it's the blind raven.
It was the grim jester for a long time. We sort of out-leveled him, so he became less relevant.
What? So he's not in the plot anymore because he's less relevant?
Hey, I can contact him with sending if you want to check up on him.
Doesn't that mean that we can go back and we'll just be higher level and we can just wreck?
He wasn't hostile. That would be very impolite.
Oh, well.
He just like to screw with you a lot.
He's the only one who I can actually believe can pull off a vicious mockery IRL.
Oh, yeah. He made really, really dark puns and things like that. Anyway, let me get my... Whoever wants to open. Anyway, what we did last leave off, we did sort out the issue with Zilk being a traitor. Our friends Luna and Raza departed, flying off into the desert. Keeping in mind that you all did offer them refuge at the Patali lands, Eos and Ekon, I think? Yeah.
I would just like to note that that is probably the worst plan possible for them to have left, but they didn't listen to us.
You guys are cutting off
because Zilk knew where they were going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If Zilk is a traitor, she would have told them.
Well, that's how they found you all so far.
I have a plan. Once a sufficient amount of time has passed, I'm gonna cast sending at harpy nudist whose name I can't remember right now, and check up on them. And if things are bad, then hopefully we'll still be close enough to go and save them.
Well, they do know that Zilk was a traitor, and so they're probably gonna take a more off-beaten path. Raza is a little...
It doesn't matter what path you take if you know where your destination is.
True, but the desert is not a particularly fun place to cross, so we'll see what happens. We stay in touch with them. We opted not to give them one of our sending stones, which I think we got in the loot. What was it? We're using 6 pairs of the 11.
This is a ridiculous number of sending stones.
They're uncommon.
We do not need this many.
Well, you never know. You can always give them to important people. Or important NPCs and things of that nature. Or you can just use them to make another magic items, which we haven't really done yet, and now we have a way to get back to the ship and go to other cities. We have a way to kind of... Especially with a flying airship, we have a way to get around the continent now that's not encumbersome.
That's true.
And I think Mr. Archimedes was tuning to the device. I decided to make my notes on the thing on there until I actually write it out. Characters, loot. It's basic functionality of it. Until I actually get it wrote in there, like, all proper and such. Make sure I got the Lucidator one finished. Yeah. I did update a bunch of tokens, a bunch of different, like, handouts and things. But about we spent all morning playing our fun new hip-hop game, Dead Drop, absolutely terrorizing the hell out of a local village.
Oh man, I was hoping that this was unpopulated because, like, it's very mountainous and icy, and the number of people per unit land that such an environment could support is very small.
Well, at the end, they're probably really confused because, like, we started tossing out barrels that I made appear to be people.
Well, as fast as this thing goes, like, they're pretty spread out. So maybe not a village. I don't know. We didn't really check first. We always do a roll later and maybe hear some rumors in the tavern about some odd event where our cocker were literally falling from the sky. Is it a trail of corpses leading somewhere?
You know, that actually might help us, because then it's like, hey, what happened to those Arakaka we sent out to go, capture that, harpy? I don't know, but I heard a report of Arakaka falling from the sky not too long ago.
I would really prefer that they vanished without a trace, but that definitely makes us seem very menacing and scary because we offed a whole bunch of Arakakra.
Oh, it's menacing and scary.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about Jaeger.
Still cannot, so I'm gonna restart Discord. Hopefully that'll fix it.
Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's not good.
I can hear you guys on and off.
It's cutting in and out. All right, go ahead. But yeah, let's see. That was the last thing we did. The rest of the half of the day would probably be a few of us recovering from the trauma of what we did to
Those eggs.
What we did to just sentient people, throwing them off while we contemplate discrediting their corpses, but not eating eggs.
I think we were all okay. Like, they were slavers. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
They made their choice, and then we dealt with them afterwards. They were already dead. But no, those elfin other eggs. Yeah, Mason's not a fan of the world he's finding.
Alright, well, I will still continue to happily eat eggs like I have for my whole life. Oblivious to the fact that Mason now believes elves lay eggs.
It's not full belief, but he thinks there's some weird shit going on. In any case, he's not a fan.
I'm pretty sure Mel divulged that she was actually, also eating the egg she laid later.
Oh yeah.
On.
I don't think I was there when she said it, though.
Yeah, so Mason, I don't believe, knows that I eat a Kenku. He just knows that I've talked about having laid eggs in the past and eaten my own eggs.
So, Zilk would like to clarify here that she does not eat her own kind's eggs, but, I mean, other species' eggs.
She did earlier.
Zilk didn't.
Hang on.
Raza did.
They are Karakakra eggs, or were they
Lizard folk
harpy
society?
Because the first time you
are
mentioned
eaten
it
for dinner.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, the first time you said it was harpy eggs.
They are harpy eggs, that's why Zilk didn't eat any. Raza did, though.
Check the VOD. No, I'm kidding. Alright.
Raza ate them, but the harpies are not cannibals. Our cocker are. Let's see,
Well, I mean, I guess my people would not view it as cannibalism so much as scavenging and not wanting to waste.
That's precisely how the Arkakra see it, too. They live out in the desert. They do not let a single thing go to waste. But, we'll spend the rest of the day, basically just traveling rather uneventfully. We dealt with our big ambush. Of course, there is plenty on the ship to kind of explore and do. Now we've actually had a combat session on here. Double G would spend most of her time in the bridge or in her room. Her nap so interrupted she can't go back to sleep. She'll have big, large amounts of scattered paper everywhere. She seems to be researching something herself. I believe most of us know what it is. It was the disappearance of her father. The reason she went to the Battalia city was to get more information. She may have mentioned this to a few of you, and I think Mel and a few people might actually know. I'm not sure how the dwarf would, now that combat's over, the adrenaline of it is over, if he might return to his room, not being too happy being in the sky. We'll have to ask him when he gets back. How would the rest of you like to spend the rest of your day?
I think I mentioned that I wanted to study the book I took from Zilk.
Oh, yeah, you can do so. Silk was
I'm
not
gonna
particularly
find.
happy of you taking it, since it is kind of a special book just for her own kind of people, or her own
Well,
company.
Mason is not particularly happy with her trying to kill him, so you know.
She will express displeasure in this, but yeah, it is just a map of air currents and things like that. It allows a normal flying race that knows the map, especially ones with changing seasons and currents. Anybody with a naturally flying speed that can fly for a long distance, for like days apparently, you can move across the continent very fast.
Mason's gonna. Maybe if he has the time, then he'll like cast fly on himself and on the car, and he'll try various like flying on his own, flying in the car. He's trying to like study and steal the secrets of this so he can have this.
Basically, if you have it's basically travel pace is what it is. It increases
Sure,
your
no, I
travel
understand.
pace.
I understand. Yeah, he's trying to learn its secrets. He wants to have that good old speed, no matter what form it takes.
It does in there also. It is set up for like it does show a lot of smaller currents and things. So whereas this ship is a giant bulldozer plowing through the sky, it probably wouldn't work with this ship. Not
Mhm.
to the great effects it would just a creature that can fly.
Yeah, he's mostly just thinking about himself in the car.
Mainly, if you get yourself a flying mount that can fly for a long time, you can move across the continent pretty well.
What are you saying that like it wouldn't work if because like the car is like a size large. Like, I mean, if I was gonna ride a size large,
It would, but doesn't the spell fly only work for so long?
fly lasts. It's actually a good question.
10 minutes.
Oh shit! I thought it lasted an hour. I was like, yeah, hey, I could get like a few hours. All right, so at most I could do 8 hours. Or no, actually, I can do higher levels. That does not do anything. All right, yeah. So
I mean, you can cast at higher levels, but every 10 minutes you have
it
to
doesn't.
recast it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. He'll still try to like learn it because just good to know in case he wants to. I don't know, put in like a flight feature,
Alrighty. Let's
install
see.
permanent wings.
Anybody else want to do anything particular for the day?
I want to hang out with Zilk.
She will remain wherever you left her tied up at. That'll be kind of up to you all, where you want to keep her stored at.
Isn't she with Dawn?
Yep, she's with Don Saguaro.
Yeah, so Dawn is keeping an eye on her, so wherever you all want to keep her, Dawn doesn't have a voice in this.
Probably in one of the rooms or something. Preferably not her room is what I would want, just so we can make sure that she doesn't have any sort of like, I don't know, secret telephone to the slavers hidden away in there.
It's not a bad idea. Iris is going to check to make sure she didn't leave something hiding in there.
Alrighty, you can
Yeah,
go through. All three of these were sharing the same room. The two harpies and our cocker. There's quite a few feathers scattered about. The room was kept a little tidy, but the bed is not made up. There's a lot of feathers scattered about, but there isn't any possessions you can see inherently. If y'all want to give me someone wants to give me investigation to search the room, that'd be up to you all.
$24. Unless somebody was helping me, then 27.
Let's see.
I returned. Hopefully it doesn't cut off. I found that it was running a massively expensive process called WAS Desk Medic Agent, which apparently fixes my updater when it breaks. So, that's nice. But anyway, I stopped that, so it should be good.
Guess something broke.
Excellent. Does it sound better?
Considerably, yeah. And as soon as I ended it, Discord loaded up immediately as opposed to it lagging. So that's nice.
Well, all right.
We are all deciding what we want to do for the day.
Yep.
I read a book. I'm pulling a real Mel move.
Oh no, I've read like a grand total of 2 books. Or Mel has read a grand total of 2 books. Real life me reads a lot of books. Probably not as much as Valman though.
Listening.
Iris would ask for the Cliff Notes version when you're finished with it.
Yeah, there you go. You do find Zilk's belongings. They were kind of stashed away. Some of her private belongings, adventuring gear. Let's see, she would have an outfit, a change of clothes. She would actually have a few feathers tucked away. Since you managed to poke through everything quite well, you have 3 of these feathers of speed, which lets you use the feline agility, basically.
All right.
Of sorting out among the floor, you managed to find a few of hers, and these were one among her belongings. She seems to take one every now and again so she can use it for herself. Let's see.
Those feathers are a one-time use thing?
Yep.
Wait, sorry, I forgot. Where is Zilk now? And as at the end of the last one.
That's a good question.
She
Where do you all want to keep her at?
tied with Dawn and on his chamber is where we left her last time. Like he's her warden as far as I remembered.
Alrighty. He will keep her in one of these rooms. These rooms do not have windows, so he will keep her in this room. He'll actually untie her. And he'll move and lock the door out here, and he will stand guard outside her room, giving her a little bit more freedom to move about rather than chained up for the entirety of days of travel.
Oh, he undid my chains?
He's nicer than me.
He reused them to put a layer across the door, unless you all wanted them back.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, if we had a chance to make sure our rooms don't have any secret trapdoors or anything.
From Iris investigating, you know that it doesn't.
That's good.
And the rooms are pretty solid. It's actually just like a big metal box. There's a bit of ventilation, but nothing anybody can really fit through. Not unless she was a druid, really. You can turn into like a tiny insect and maybe fit through it.
She's been lying about that. Why can't you lie about other things? Guys, we gotta search her for druid stuff.
Well, you took her spell focus and everything else. Though a druid doesn't
Right,
need a
right.
spell focus to transform, but from your past experience, you know she's not a druid. In fact, you're pretty sure she wasn't a caster before, but
Actually, that's a good question. How did she use this thing without the ability to cast Teleportation Circle?
You could just bust both for wings. That would certainly help.
I don't.
Wait a minute.
I don't think Mel would agree with that, but
I feel like it'd be such a hassle if we actually have to go somewhere and she's like, I can't fly. And then it's like, well,
Those corpses sure did. We could make you fly.
wait, I have an idea. Wait a
You'll-
second.
you'll-
if,
you'll
we break, if we break her wings, could I just pat her on the back and she'll grow a second pair of wings and I can't fly on her?
pity wings.
Oh my god. Mason has a dream about that. That's what he dreams during the night. It's like, I wonder if that would work.
Alrighty, but as the day passes, whatever y'all decide to do, Double G doing her studying, Ball would be recovering from his wounds. He would keep an eye on the engines, kind of worried about them. He doesn't fully get the feeling he doesn't fully trust the thing he's riding on, for good reason too. You will make her mysterious black liquid called coffee. You're all free to wander around about if you want. But the day will pass rather uneventfully, other than our body drop game. Zilk will continue to not talk to anybody. She's being rather stubborn. The next morning, Paul follows through. Now,
Oh, hey,
where do you all sleeping in the rooms, or I know Mason's staying in his car on the deck. Is Iris
Always
staying
on guard.
in his little grove?
Probably.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think Cromwell will just go back to his room to
Alright.
sleep
Yeah.
specifically.
I'll
Yeah,
go
I'll
be in
go
his
to my room.
well.
Well,
I forget which of these are.
however you all wake up, you all are greeted by breakfast. There seems to be a surplus of eggs on board for some reason or another. As well as...
Do we have enough rations to last if we don't have eggs?
There's plenty of other food to eat and cook. She's not just fixing eggs, she's fixing a whole breakfast meal. Again, she's not the best cook, so it's burnt in a few places here and there.
Adds
Barbecue flavor.
flavor.
Yeah.
Mason begins plotting. How am I gonna replace all of these fucking eggs?
From where you were downstairs in the engine room, across through all the pipes, you got to saw a bit. And well, if you all would explore a bit, there's a giant ice box in the third deck in the big storage room where all the perishables are kept. Since you were poking and getting barrels before, you might have saw that big old ice box, cold box. Want to sabotage the ship's rations of perishables? There you go. But everyone who wakes up, those of you who are on deck, you are greeted by a terribly cold wind. Staying out for too long, it seems ice starts to form on you as you peer across the deck to see the giant ice shelf approaching. It is a few thousand feet tall from off the ground up into the sky, a giant wall of ice that threatens to overtake the land.
Nice.
Let's see.
I think we're close, guys.
Wait, this is
Mason
not
will shout.
full ice shelf, right? There's not like a wall per se.
It is a giant wall, and
like
on
a
top
cliff
of
face.
it, yeah.
So it goes down on the other side.
So I think we're approaching it like from a desert, and there's just like a sudden drop from an ice wall to a desert.
It is an actual ice shelf.
Okay, so it extends farther. Yeah, gotcha. Nice.
Why can't I double click that? Roll20, stop being weird.
Never.
Yeah, blanket refusal on that front.
That's gonna be a no from me, dog.
There we go.
Negative.
Is Roll20 just loading slow or what?
No, I see it. It's popped up for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but all
yeah,
the
good.
dialogue wasn't though.
The drifts.
Oh, I'm seeing it myself too. So
I see
don't know.
dialogue.
It might be on your end.
Was this the right time to bring up a Jon Snow reference?
I can't think of a
I
better
was
one.
gonna bring up
Yeah.
a flat Earth reference because they think that there's an ice wall that keeps all the water from falling off the edge of the Earth.
No.
No. I think you don't know nothing.
Good.
But as you start to fly over this, it's not a wall. It is an ice shelf. It is land on top of it. It is actually ice. It is nothing but ice. And the more you travel across, the more different effects you see. Let's see.
So I kind of missed the bit in the lore where eventually the continent was just going to be taken over by a giant ass glacier.
It'll be fine.
How many times can we keep saving this continent? Even if we blow it up, or even if we see something blown up, it's just gonna get taken over by ice.
Well, hey,
This-
ice is better than being exploded.
Yeah, this ice has been here for a long time. It's fact and thanks to the volcano that's actually on this part of the island, it warms up enough to where it doesn't overtake the island. Especially considering the air genasi like to play fuck with the temperature and draw in heat from the volcano and turn the desert into a scorching hot desert.
Why? That's brutal.
Because they can. I guess some people just like to watch the world burn.
Good, yeah.
And
Entirely
some people
possible.
Like to watch it freeze.
Entirely possible they are just dicks. Or they just whatever they feel like for the day. They're like, we want it cold. That's cold now. Air genasi are very lofty and.
I mean, to be fair, if we could control the weather, we'd be like, it's kind of hot. Let me turn it down a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's see. So as you start to travel across, flying across the airship only takes about 2 hours of traveling across the drifts before you approach. Well, the few hours you spent traveling across, you notice various things on the land below. The whole land is made of ice. Giant peaks of land followed by small cliffs and valleys just kind of formed naturally. The drifts colliding with each other, creating an upheaval of ice. And basically the terrain is very difficult, very, let's see here, very not well traveled. To move across the land is going to be pretty difficult. Thank goodness you're flying, though. You see blizzards that create a bunch of ice or a bunch of snow. You manage to, when flying by, see an avalanche fall.
A quick question in the middle of the flavor text.
Mm-hmm.
Does would this be categorized as either forest, mountain, or tundra?
Maybe tundra.
Nice.
They're actually an Arctic Ranger thing.
Arctic Ranger? No, it's just one of my favorite terrains is tundra.
Alrighty, then that should work for tundra, because I think tundra is just ice area. So I don't think there's an actual terrain other than tundra that would specify this. So we'll say that is that.
Most excellent.
Even with, it's not necessarily that it's difficult terrain, it's also just very hard to travel across. So moving across on foot will just be difficult in general.
Don't worry guys, I got an idea.
You do see a few monsters kind of roaming about. Some things that can survive this area. Upon approaching this area, it's so cold that every hour you spend here not wearing cold weather gear or protected in some way, that you probably start to gain levels of exhaustion. So this will be a good time to equip your cold weather gear. Now, this cold weather gear can actually fit across your armor and fit to what you're wearing, basically. You all now have a thick layer of fur, hides, or whatever it is you think would keep you warm. You had a chance to kind of shop around and find the outfits that you like, that you want, to work with what you have.
I have the cloak with feathers, but also feathers are probably not the warmest, so I have like regular furs and stuff.
That, and you have the frozen spirit, which I think,
Gives you resistance to cold.
yeah. So
Let me
you're,
look actually.
I believe that was one of the things it did.
Yes, I have attuned it to my instrument.
I have a shirt made out of eggshells.
Do you
No.
actually? I was like, what?
I was a little confused
I mean,
myself.
You totally could. You've been eating enough eggs.
The hell of a magic item.
Which kind of, I guess, I wonder if lizard folk lay eggs instead of their lizards. That's a question we can ask Iris and embarrass him later.
Nice.
Mason will don a very ruined like bear pelt, but it's just a bunch of like seatbelts that have been wrapped into it, and like that's how he closes it. He like literally just ties seatbelts. It looks like it was run over.
And to
I
be
wear
fair,
belts.
of course lizard folk lay eggs, but they don't eat their own eggs. They wait for them to hatch, and then they eat the weak ones.
There you go.
No.
Oh, that's brutal.
Not uncommon though, but yeah, it's kind of brutal. Anybody else have any flavorful cold weather gear they'd like to share?
Yeah, Big Wildman will be wearing just an obscene number of cloth layers and then a very ineffective fur cloak. So he'll look a little like a ball, but that's alright.
Yeah, if anyone looks cold on deck, Mason will like open the door and just hot air will.
Nice.
Archie not only has another robe on, he's also wearing underwear.
For the first time.
Oh my god.
Was this not a thing you did before?
Yeah, for this entire...
No.
No, I just like imagining for this entire time, he's had underwear, he just chose not to wear them. Then everybody asks, why do you keep it? In case I need them.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. I gotta get my cold weather gear. Mason puts on a giant thing, bear pelt, looks over. This guy's putting on underwear.
Rather an odd sight for those of you who, I guess I don't know where he would put his underwear on, but those of you who would be inside, it's kind of an odd sight seeing an old man, not realizing just how old he actually was until now.
Back in my day, we didn't wear underwear. That's a new thing. Save it for special occasions.
Occasions that require you to take them off. Put them on just to take them off. Alrighty. Anyway. Yeah, but after a few hours of traveling, the ship can make this distance no problem. And in the distance, you see, it looks like a line of giant spires, giant pillars, jutting out of the ground and facing further into the drifts. These seem to be man-made, as you can see small shacks and things in between the spires. As you get here, Double G will kind of look about, or just she'll run out to the deck. She'll stop the ship and start to look around, and noticing a few flashing lights as she starts to step away, she runs back in and kind of calls everybody to meet at the bridge. Let's see, where's her dialogue? Hear the same booming voice over this intercom, saying she has some information for everybody. Let's see. Once everyone does arrive on the bridge of the ship, she'll look a little concerned and, the slave village is somewhere along these ice spires. The village always moves, so I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be. We'll have to spend some time to search for them. But
Sure.
we'll have a bit of a problem. As she kind of is trying to hide like this blinking red light on the console.
No landing gear.
Did you break your ship again?
No. Just a bit of an issue that I didn't think was an issue. I need a volunteer.
If
The-
it's mechanic work, what's the situation, Double G?
why do we need an engineer, Double G?
Well, did I say
You hit
engineer?
it with bigger hammer.
No, Mason said it. He thinks something's wrong with the engines. He's gonna have to go into the ship to fix it. So.
Well, I based this design off my father's, the Skier Spring Cruiser. He said his engines, he flew to the Slayer Village and back. And I did base my engines off of his. But, I'm willing to bet that he knew exact whereabouts of the village. Basically, I don't think the engines are gonna last in this cold weather. I'm need a volunteer to go below deck and, well,
Keep them warm?
keep the engines from freezing over. We need to power the afterburners, just to keep them from getting too cold.
Archie would like to volunteer?
It's not an easy task. My engines are one of a kind. Well, they were patented by me. They can hold any sort of fire, charge, magical effect, whatever. Just gotta keep them powered. The core I'm using now is just a standard core, but I can't power the afterburners with just it alone. I'll need someone to. Well, I have shards of burnt up cores and frenzied cores that no one can use anymore. If we just shovel that into the sub-engine, which is actually where the afterburners are, we should be able to keep the engines running. Problem is, it's laborsome work. It might take a few of you each day to keep them running, if it takes more than a few days.
Shoveling doesn't seem too bad. I mean, we can do it.
I'm sure we could get.
Just picture like people shoveling coal in a steam engine is basically what she's asking.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Mason says, "Do we need any scouts to find this place if we don't know the exact location?"
If anyone is particularly good at tracking and might narrow our search down, just anywhere along this ice spire border. I'm not sure where the latest location is at.
I can take a look, but I don't usually do my tracking from this far up.
I could take you down, and he points to the wall, like to his back.
Can actually fly.
Well,
that will work.
It's gonna be cold up here, though.
Yeah. One thing you all have noticed is that she is actually starting to fly closer to the ground. Not the thousands of feet up, but more like 400 or 500 feet off the ground. You are able to kind of look down and see the surface floor. One thing to note is that it is very difficult to see fine details. It's not that you're so far away, it's that the ice and the wind and the snow create this whole area of low visibility. And the only reason you manage to see the Titan spire is because she's actually flying closer to the ground. Are these ice spires.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, I guess we should split into two groups: the people who help the engines and the people who are out on scouting patrol.
Sounds like a plan. If there is some object that we know the nearest one would be at our destination, I can attempt to locate it. But I don't know if it'll work, because I don't think I've actually seen anything from the place we're going.
And the Slayers tend to use their own brand of gear, and they tend to go without rather than with. Though you can use the telescope and look through the windows and get a closer view.
I'll help shovel cores.
For the coal, if 3 of you just take shifts throughout the day, it would be taken care of. Ball would of course volunteer for one of them. I guess.
Archie would like to volunteer Jaeger for one position.
Yeah. So we got Jaeger and Ball. So it would require another person to take care of the heavy lifting, the shoveling. Probably a few hours, 2 shifts of a few hours a day to keep this thing flying.
Wait, so didn't Archimedes say he would do that? So it would be Jaeger, Baal, and Archimedes?
I planned on keeping the engines warm, but if we got cores that we could burn, then maybe not so much Archimedes.
Do you want to join scouting patrol?
Sure.
There's 2 more seats. Valman, you said you were in.
I'm down.
Yep,
I'm down for scouting patrol.
All right, hop
Archie's
in. Who's got shotgun? That's the thing, guys. Have you ever heard of shotguns?
Shotgun.
I'll be in the back.
Okay.
She'll
That's
say
the opposite of shotgun.
she'll say, well, we're gonna keep flying. If you leave the area of the ship, we might end up leaving you behind. Do you wish to stop and see if you can find tracks down below?
This is like approximately where we're supposed to be, right? Like as far as we know, this is kind of the general area they find or they settle in.
Yes, just along this ridge. And while we're already kind of stopped, the engines are starting to stall. Even with the afterburners kicked in. So this solution she has isn't a permanent one, but it's one to keep us going for a little bit longer.
Mason can take people down to like the ground level. With Archimedes there, we could also, if he could haste me and I could fly the car myself, like if he could haste me and then the car, then we could catch up to the ship if need be, if it needs to move.
Doesn't necessarily need to move, but you get the feeling that this solution of hers isn't a permanent one.
All right, then yeah, the car. I can't bring the car down there, but yeah, anyone who wants to go down to the surface, they can just hop in, and I can fly everybody down.
Okay, excellent. Alan hops into the front seat there.
You have fun in Death Trap.
There are a few telescopes and things like that, able to at least see down to the ground from where you're at. I think there's 2 of them on board. So a few people can be scouting on the ship if they want to, just looking from above, down below. Looking for any kind of sign.
Do we see any, well, before we leave the ship here...
Are there any animals around?
You gonna ask for directions?
I'm gonna ask for directions.
There are a few small creatures. There's a lot of monsters in the area too. This area was abandoned by the Slayers and seems to be a home for a few wandering wildlife.
All right. Iris is going to go to a wandering wildlife.
Alright, so you're gonna join them on the car down below?
No, he's just gonna fly.
Oh, that's fair.
You don't need no damn car.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a motorcycle, why do you need a bus?
Is that an expression?
I don't know. I was like, yeah. I mean, if he can go himself, I mean, why does he need a car? Yeah, it makes sense. I'm good with that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Alright, so do you cast the fly or use your little feature?
He has wings. He has literal wings.
I can't remember. Were those permanent or were they only last for a bit?
He flies down, but he can't come back up.
That's great.
Alrighty, yeah. So when you unleash your wings, I think the flavor was that everything knows you are a celestial. You shine your divine brilliance, and all of you see Iris as he had a bit of a tinge of kind of magic around his scales, a bit of a glow. It is now in full brilliance as he unleashes his wings. We don't have any evil creatures on board, so that's good.
No.
But
I don't think so.
you all
Except for
fully
the-
realize what Iris is.
Wow, he's a celestial. I don't care.
So I think he's done so once
Honk, honk.
before already, but we'll do the flavor now.
I don't think we saw though, because he was on the higher level, wasn't he? And like he would peek his head down when he did it.
He was kind of flying in front of the ship before.
Oh, I thought you were on like the little on the up here on the there's the whole. I thought
That
you
was
were
the
like
most convenient way to stay in range of the person.
Yeah, maybe not everybody had saw your wings, and maybe someone had caught a glimpse of you with a bit of a glow and shine. But doing this in front of everybody fully knows that you are a celestial.
We're gonna find out eventually.
Yep.
It's not like we've been all that hiding it from them, especially Dawn.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Wellman's back gets stiffer, and he looks like he's a little nervous at attention, but it's all right.
Well, in lore, whenever an angel, a celestial, or anything like that appears, it basically means that something divine requires divine intervention. Basically, shit's going down somewhere in the world, and the gods in heaven and the gods in heavens need to get involved. And that's basically what the appearance of a celestial means, the kind of omen they bring.
Right.
Well, good to know we have God on our side.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, considering all the shit that's happening, literally, there's multiple apocalypses happening on this continent. I mean, I feel like if there wasn't angels here, like,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what
everybody's
that would have been the real bad thing.
So with Iris, you have a bit of divine favor.
Yeah,
maybe not direct support from them, but that is why Iris is here. He is their support. Now, whether or not he wants to actually be helpful or not, that's up to him, but he's been granted a boon of their power to kind of resolve things. One of which is these wings.
So is there like a giant like light beam or something like that, or is it just us who see the celestial wings pop up? Like, is there like a radius of creatures and some
They
level
sort of fold out of his clothing, which his cold weather clothing. I assume you got some to accommodate your wings.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like large eagle wings, and you know, for a druid, it's not that out of place, except for the slight celestial glow of them.
Sure.
Also,
too bad Zilk isn't here. She would be admiring your wings. So you fly down, probably toe to toe with a car with Mason and Valman.
yeah,
so
Mason will try to race him.
Thank you all. I think you all win because it only goes to his move speed, but
Yeah, Mason is very petty and just does like a victory lap around him.
Hard time.
anyway, we all reach the ground.
There. Now you don't get to go anywhere.
Can you cast that in midair?
Sure, why not?
Huh.
Sprout from the ground.
Very, very long weeds.
Like Mason's like 100 feet in the air. That just like suddenly sprouts up.
I'm picturing like, a tumbleweed just appearing in the middle of the air.
Very convenient, but won't prevent movement. I don't think.
Tangela, I choose you.
I mean,
All right,
Baltic is
do I
good.
have to make a? I don't know what I would
Summon.
do for this.
He's not actually casting the spell.
Yeah, that would be
Jeez.
just like summon a boulder, then cast entangle on it, and hit him with it with entangle.
That's good.
But just to kind of reiterate things, especially since we have a lot of flying, and so flying on the battlefield, I think Joey has had a bit of a taste of this. Is not necessarily all that fantastic of an option. You
It
make
wasn't so much the flying; it was more the losing concentration on the thing that was flying for him.
Yeah. But yeah. So fly is then it is a
So,
concentration.
Did not mean to do that.
But
Flying is concentration, but featherfall is a reaction.
true.
Solid.
Not everyone has all of their spells prepared at all times, so because I think every class only has a certain number of prepared spells. But you are at later levels, so you all would have quite a few. But
We got options.
yeah, flying creatures don't necessarily get targeted more than the others. But if there's a clear line of sight to a flying creature rather than behind a wall of people, they may, especially if you're being a nuisance, especially a caster doing really awful things to the party, their allies, they may prioritize you over most people. So flying and simply having your move speed 0, being restrained, grappled, will make you fall immediately. There are a lot of dangers to flying, especially in combat. But we'll get to that if it ever comes up. Flying is a very high risk, medium reward type of play.
But it's fun.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Risk, medium reward.
Look, here's the thing: if you're flying, you're gonna get knocked down. Just land on the enemy.
If you're flying and get knocked down, make sure you're not really high in the sky, basically.
And besides the style, though, the style really is the payoff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's definitely what I go for when I do it.
Oh, yeah.
I always fly on the battlefield, just doing flips around people.
You gotta.
This whole point of doing a monk flyer, so you can do literal laps around people. You can't touch me, you can't touch me. Then they slap you down.
It's worth it.
Whoops.
But as you all make it to the ground, so really only one of you will be able to do a survival check. If someone has proficiency, they can offer the other one advantage on their survival. And Iris, I think you plan to do your own thing.
Yes.
Psst, Archimedes,
Yes.
do you know how to survive?
Uh.
You're old.
Well,
you should be good at this.
I mean, I'm okay at it.
All right. Go
I
help.
got it.
Go help Valman out.
Yeah.
Go help him.
All right.
I don't know how to survive.
Am
Looks
I
at
rolling?
0 survival.
Am I rolling nature?
0.
No. I was just telling you. Maybe you should be the one to give advantage because I cannot.
Yeah, if you have proficiency in survival, you can offer someone else advantage on their roll.
I don't actually have proficiency in survival.
So the optimum thing would be for Valman, do you have proficiency in survival? No, this is metagaming. But like, if you did have proficiency, you would. I feel like the optimum would be for you to help one of the other two who does not.
Yeah,
Right?
True,
better
but usually at the same time, the person who's
But then we
proficient in
have
that
0.
skill, has a huge bonus to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think we want Mason doing the survival check.
That's an excellent real life image. Say, here, you're the noob, so let me just walk you through it, and then we'll be better all together.
Typically,
Okay.
this is reserved for when you all will just end up stumbling and getting each other's way. Someone can take the lead, and if two people are proficient, basically knowledgeable in the subject, you can actually offer advice in a significant way. Otherwise, you're going to offer advice and just get on their nerves.
Right.
All right. Well, then Valman or all right, Valman did it. Great.
Yay.
Of course, various effects like guidance things go into it. So 20 survival, it's pretty good. Iris, what are you doing your thing? What are you doing?
He is attempting to find a creature to chat with.
There are a few snow hares and some other various creatures. There's a little rime slug. That's an interesting creature. It uses acid. It burrows holes into the ice for safety. You see it emerging, trying to find some food to eat.
All right. Iris is going to cast this. If it links, maybe it won't. There we go. So he holds up his staff, taps it to his mouth, and begins to speak brine slug.
Actually,
Nice.
take. I'll share their picture in Discord. I like this little creature when I found it. That was gonna be perfect for the area.
Ooh, very nice.
I like it. I like
These
it.
long, crusty slugs sparkle like ice. A gaping hole at one end serves as its mouth, which forms long tendrils, whatever.
Yeah.
The real question is though, are his
Mandibles?
rhymes fresh?
What?
What? Fresh?
Are his rhymes fresh?
His rhymes.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, I love creatures that rhyme. I love enemies that rhyme when they talk to you. However, I cannot improv rhyming, so it's not gonna happen.
Oh man, that's so disappointing.
Alright, they have a really low intelligence, so
So they probably can't rhyme very well at all.
yeah, that's how we'll play it. uh, so you cast this on you. It looks at you curiously, especially since you're
Hello, good
glowing
sir.
and warming the area a bit.
I am in need of your assistance.
You see it slapping its tendrils together to form words. Words. Red the dragon, not blue. Odd. Who you?
Ah, yes. My name is Iris.
That's all you're
and
getting.
I am in search of some other people around here. You understand what people are, yes?
Bigger creatures. All big. Mountains? Normal size? Oh, I found people. They point you over to Mason and Valman.
No, not those.
Perfect.
They've been here for a long time.
They have? Looks like they just got here.
I'm looking for some that have been here for a long time. Those ones I know where they're at. I need to find others. But they look like them.
Dwarf and elf. All things live in house, can't survive cold. Don't know where they go, where they come from, where they go. Where did they come from?
It's good. It's good. Appreciate it.
Are any of them named Cotton-Eyed Joe?
Leader, only one eye. Has cloth in it.
Makes sense.
Kinda looks about. You looking for big things, or things that live in house? Hunt big things.
The things that hunt big things.
We left from the east. Big thing walked towards the large ice. They hunt big things. Maybe that way.
Thank you. Now, quick question. If you'd like to join us, you're welcome to. You seem like quite the fun creature. What is your name, by the way?
Not good rhyme.
Not good rhyme. Excellent.
Family making new burrow here. Must help. Trap to
Well-
trap beasts.
Well, then, very well. I wish you good luck on your journey and on your life, and we shall perhaps run across each other again. And then Iris will go over to where this car is. The creature said there are things in that direction, and perhaps we should be attempting to find over there.
Before it leaves, it will tell you not to go in a particular direction. It is hollowing out, making the surface ice really thin, so that anybody that walks across it will fall right into their cove.
Wait, how big is the slug?
It's about the
'Cause I was-
size of a hand, but it is actually looks like a very young infant, like probably a few days old.
Oh wow. It knows a lot for something born yesterday.
They
Well, for
communicate
slug
well.
life, that's like teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be disrespectful.
Well, it said the only thing it knew is that its family was coming this way to avoid the big things the other way. That's basically the extent of the knowledge it gave.
It's such an articulate child, though.
It's good.
Anyway, so the tracks you find looking through the village, the shacks that are abandoned, there are tracks going every which way, but a blizzard has come by since then and covered up most of it. You do see a broken sled, maybe even a few pieces of gear kind of left behind. They all seem to be going the one way. They are not completely frozen over, so they haven't been here for that long. As Iris kind of tells you about the direction they went, you can tell that they did go in that direction, but you know that they're no more than a few days away.
Can I see if they traveled with any kind of like we're talking vehicles or animals or foot?
It looks like a lot of sleds, on foot,
Okay.
and a mixture of any in between that and in between.
Gotcha.
The
So,
sled
yeah.
marks are preceded by, it looks like claws.
Oh,
Maybe not claws, but talons. You're not entirely too certain,
gotcha.
but not normal paws.
So they're birds, not mammals?
You're not entirely too certain.
Okay, well, I guess I relay the information and say they went that a ways on sleds, pulled by weird things.
Are they close or?
A couple days, maybe 3 days.
Yeah. All right.
On foot a couple days. You might be able to get there faster, actually.
Just
All right. Well, let's go tell everybody and let's get flying.
Right, back up we go.
Up and away.
Yep. He just kind of
To
instantly
infinity.
floors it.
Nice.
Action!
Thanks.
Alright. So, roughly about an hour, maybe two passes, as you all take the time to look around for Iris to find a slug to talk to in the course of the conversation. More than just, the discussion actually talked about, but maybe idle chit-chat as frustration actually trying to communicate with it and having it
Yeah, of course.
respond in an intelligent way. Takes roughly an hour for the whole process. So we all return to the ship. During this time, does everyone else like to do anything special?
Oh, aren't we occupied shoveling magic coal?
Alrighty, you want to be one of the Jaeger and Ba are going to be helping you out, though they're going to wait to their shifts to do it. If you
Oh,
want
I'm
to
a
take the
huge
first
win.
ship.
It's probably gonna not do amazingly, but I will try. I mean, like, I want to feel useful, I suppose. And also, I don't want the engines to fail and then the ship to fall out of the sky because that would be bad.
Well, Double G will follow you, Jaeger, and Ba down to the engine. She'll sort of explain the process. The overflow of the engine feeds down this into the sub-engine, which the sub-engine is what fuels the afterburners. If she ever gets a power source big enough or large enough, this special engine she created is able to hold any kind of power in it. She's even proud enough to say it would even hold the Earth Elementium, all the power it could give off.
Hmm.
We're talking specifically magic power here, right? Like I can't just shove a bunch of gunpowder in there and have it blow up.
Explosives might be damaging to the engine, but basically the engine can consume most of magic and anything. She'll actually say,
So-
if you was to ask, she would say, anything that gives off heat, energy, or power, we can work here.
Nice.
So we could just fireball the engine into working.
Yes.
We've done it before. I mean, not with this ship, but like I've seen vehicles that you just cast magic into them and they go.
Oh yeah, the Bet
The
2's,
tanks.
yeah,
I had a car like that once.
Wait a second, hang on. Could we fire bolt it? Could we just shoot a bunch of fire bolts? 'Cause
Well,
that's a renewable energy source.
In the tanks that I drove, the amount of propulsion was proportional to the power level of the magic that went in. So just firing cantrips wasn't, all that amazing, although it would have been really funny if I could make a tank go by insulting it. Tragically, that was
That's
not
pretty
meant to
good.
be.
You just keep mocking it into working.
Maybe
Work,
not
you
a.
piece of shit. And then it goes.
Yeah.
You I feel like we've all had a car like that at some point, haven't we?
You could cantrip cast into it, and instead of shoveling, if you wanted to, the Double G would explain to those who followed her down there. She would take a few of this pile, and you see there's quite a bit of a big pile. Little shards of cores and metal bits and things like that all possess some sort of innate magic in them. I should just say, anyway, these engines are, well, I may have taken a sneak peek back at our earthen temple. Bit of a boon of being the king's daughter. I shouldn't have really seen the schematics for it, but I did. And I've based my engines off of them. Many places around the earthen kingdoms use my style of engine. The money I make off them pretty much floats my shop. I don't actually make a lot of money at my shop, but thankfully my patents kind of pay for themselves. It is based off the template design to harness even the Elementium's power. But the cores I can get my hands on aren't really same state as the ship, not really that powerful. And these shards here, you don't need to keep shoveling them at all times. You do need to sort of make sure we're not overpowering everything. So you don't need to constantly shovel, but
What happens
Just-
if we shovel too much? Like, will that be bad?
well, it won't be. The engine can handle any sort of excess heat and power and actually retain it. The problem is these shards are rather expensive to acquire, and we only need a little bit of extra energy. So
I see.
just go easy on it, yes?
Of course.
Explode. Got it.
Oh no, it can take the whole he can take the whole thing of energy. That's what she said. But she doesn't want to waste her precious fuel.
So once we locate the encampment, will we have a chance for a long rest before going there? Because I could just, save a bunch of money by casting spells into the engine. But, if I might need those spells later, that would be a bad idea.
It really depends on how long it's going to take us to get there. So, being here, it's taken about half a day. Took about 2 hours to get here. About 3 or 4 to kind of go over everything and figure out where they've went. So we got another half a day of travel. Let me actually pull up the little pseudo map I've got here. So you know it's about 2 or 3 days away on the airship, which, let's see. Airship's travel pace. It does ignore that. So it will take you probably about another day and a half to get there.
I could synchronicity improve that? Also, what is that music?
But music.
What is?
Oh, just some ambient background music from Roll20. I didn't have
Nope,
a.
that was another tab that just randomly started playing
Oh.
music.
I don't have a particular playlist set up for this yet. I did not have enough forethought to. I worked all day on it, and I forgot to get the music loaded up onto it, a soundtrack for the ice drifts, but. So I just have some regular ambient background music playing, nothing major. But. So with what you have, it's about a day and a half. You've already spent a half a day here, so. With an idea of where to go and following the ice spires, the Double G will, once you've both returned, Double G will turn her ship and start to fly in that way. Even though you're powering the engines and maintaining the necessary levels, the engines, some fluids here and there start to freeze up. She'll have to come down and sort of continuously make maintenance. She kind of sighs in exasperation that she hasn't really slept that well, and this is going to be constant work. She complains to whoever's down there to listen to her at the time. But you all are able to travel and keep traveling. And you all can the ship can actually travel through the night. The ship does not need to rest. It will take a few shifts to keep it running through the day and through the night. I think Mel offered for it, and between 3 people, should be able to get enough sleep and rest. Jaeger doesn't really need to sleep, but he doesn't necessarily know how to keep at it, so we'll just say it takes 2 or 3 of you. He needs guidance from Archimedes every now and again. And able to think properly for himself.
Valmon will provide some morale boosting mood music for the people shoveling the magic stuff, because his noodly arms are not going to allow him to do that, but he can play on the Julian pipes.
Oh man, if we're gonna talk about noodle arms, Mel's got the noodliest. I've got a
Really?
minus
What's your
2.
strength?
I've got a -2 strength.
Oh, nice.
It's
Ooh,
not
you-
it's not entirely physically intensive work, but it does require constant attention and
Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I asked about
You
casting
got the
spells into the
smallest
engine.
noodles.
Good, yeah.
if you have other ways to kind of power the engine, you're free to do so. You'll have to do so through the night as the ship keeps traveling.
I'll
And-
go first. I'll take the first shift and I'll cast spells, because that should, in theory, give me time to rest up afterwards. Or like
Alrighty.
before the next shift.
So as you travel through the night, let's just do a few rolls to see what happens, because there are event tables for traveling through this.
All right. I'm gonna be on deck, keeping an eye out like I do.
It's purely flavor at this point, as you're on a ship traveling pretty fast. Especially anything on the ground can actually hope to keep up with, but
I mean, that's what we thought about the Aarakocra, but somehow they caught up.
We'll just roll 4 just to see what happens. All uneventful. Managed to see a few more wildlife, all interacting with one another. They seem to be huddling to the safety of the spires. A place where the Titans cannot be at. Seems to be a place where monsters and creatures like to gather. Let's see. As one thing you've noticed since traveling here, there weren't a whole lot until you got to the spires. Now you're starting to see a few more, picking through the remains of the slayers and all of their villages and huts, maybe taking shelter in the their little wooden buildings made of ice, wood, and other materials. They just kind of leave all the various places they built.
So we didn't find the place. We're just finding the ruins of their old places.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have lights on the front of the ship?
No.
Okay. Once we start getting close, this place is supposed to be like a buried town, right? It's not going to be obvious that once we find it, we're still going to have to look for it.
You're not sure.
Okay. Yeah, Mason, when he thinks we're getting close, he'll pull the car around to the front of the ship and he'll cast light. And just like those what are they called? Those towers by docks with the light.
Oh, like a little, almost, yeah.
Lighthouse, yeah. Yeah, he'll cast a light spell on his headlights, and they'll just be like looking around like a lighthouse. So.
Alrighty, fair enough. With a little bit of light, you do see the reflection of the light bouncing off some of the spires as you travel through the night. Or you're not doing it at night, but
I mean, he'll do it when he thinks we're like close to actually finding it. Like not like if it's like, oh, it's a couple days, he's not going to do it immediately. He's going to wait a day and then he'll start.
Okay. So she does keep the thing flying. She has to fly it manually herself because she is keeping it low to the ground. The ship's about 400 or 500 feet off the ground. Some of you who are wise enough to know, you can tell she's not too confident in her engines. So if she does have to make a crash landing, you're all not going to die from it if she has to. From this height up. At least not while on the ship.
Oh boy, I feel so filled with confidence.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just constantly in the lifeboat, so I'm good.
She does not admit this, but those of you who are kind of seeing what she's doing, you kind of realize that's her idea. She has to manually fly the ship, since she has to avoid the ice spires, or stay around the edge of it, and close enough where she can see any remnants of life. See, the night passes by uneventfully. Since you travel through the night, we'll do another event rolling and see what happens.
Ooh, we rolled poorly.
So in the sky, you all travel through a particularly rough patch of harsh winds. The whole ship shakes. Those of you who are near the edges, which I don't think anybody realistically should be, but if you're at the edges on the chain fencing, this would force you to make a roll to see if you fall off the ship. As the ship starts to kind of shake in the sky.
What's the roll?
If you're,
yeah.
Wait,
if
sorry,
you're,
I gotta use restroom.
alrighty.
I mean, go for it.
So this is still early in the morning. Soon as around when we wake up, just a few hours off from we projected time of arrival.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dex roll.
Okay. Can I use my vehicle land? Because I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm on the front of the ship with lights. Could I use that to hold myself back up, or do I have to just make a dex save?
Just make a dex save, which we never gave the vehicle its own stats, did we?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Just say doing like a vehicle land, like that's a tool check, and it kind of like it's how well I can pull this thing back from the edge.
Well, there's the thing. If you're on a horse, you don't make an animal handling check to stay on it. You make a dex check.
Sure. I mean,
Um,
I'm fine with making a deck save.
yeah. So you make a dex save, and we'll see if you are able to. Yeah, you are able to.
Alright.
It's not a hard
Okay.
check, but it's there just to basically say that maybe a check is needed every so often.
Mm-hmm.
You travel this particularly patch of harsh winds. You're able to stay on fairly well. It doesn't really pose much of a danger to you, but may have slipped, and the idea of falling off may have crossed your mind. As this is just like 5 foot gap, I don't think your car can fit here.
Oh, I was like, yeah, okay. I guess maybe like I'm on top of this thing, then. Like I'm on the roof of this.
Alrighty.
If
You
that is
do
easier.
slide a bit, but not really in any significant manner to really be worried about. So the rest of the travel is uneventful. And in the distance, you do see the same kind of dilapidated buildings and things, but you see a ton of people.
Mm.
Now you can particularly see this because the whole sky and ground and everything is really foggy with snow and just atmosphere, really. It's a tundra. It's not clear looking that far away. It's not a clear day. In fact, some of the spires even kind of blend. Those with a lot of snow on them kind of blend into the sky itself, making it hard to kind of see them until you get close to it. But Double G is a professional, or so she likes to claim.
Yeah, I don't know about that professionalism.
But this large group of people is a black blot on the ground of white. There's a lot of lights, and even as you get closer, you even get to hear a big commotion. But you're not sure if it's commotion of them or the ship. Someone
give me a quick
someone say
recap?
anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, just go back to the rest. Can you give me a quick recap? What group were you in? Did we just run into them after?
We found them. But something's
Okay.
going on.
Oh,
we
haven't
fly.
interacted with them yet. Cool.
We fly through the night, fly through the morning, and about midday, about 4 hours in, we come across the Slayer village. We went through a patch of really rough winds. The ship. Those of you who were inside the ship just felt the whole thing shudder and shake, maybe thinking the ship's falling again. Even though you're tending to the afterburners, it's still not a guaranteed thing. As you all approach, you realize you went through a harsh patch of wind, and if you were near the edges, you might have fallen off. And as you start to approach the, did someone have to say something?
Oh, I said noted.
Alrighty.
Good.
Just basically flying across the sky is an event table. It's an event table for every kind of method of travel. But
Right.
let's see. Alrighty. So as you start to approach the village, you start to feel yourselves fall. Those of you who are on the deck, you're approaching the ground. Maybe intentional at first, but you're starting to approach it a little too fast. Double G seems panicked beyond all belief. She runs down to the engines as fast as she can. Let's see.
Time to go pick people up.
Yep. Those of you who are shoveling down there, she runs down and tries to warm some of the pipes and other things like that, and she says, the engine's frozen over. We need these pipes warmed up. The afterburner isn't gonna cut it. Anybody at all?
All right, I'll run over. I'm here.
Archie would also like to run there as well.
Yeah, so she's down in the engine room. You are about 500 feet in the sky, and you have lost all your engines, basically. You start to fall immediately.
Oh, joy.
You'll probably only have a few chances to fix this. She's sitting here, using maybe like a homemade blowtorch trying to warm the pipes up. The fluid has stopped at the engine and the engine has died. She needs either a kickstart to the engine or to reignite it or unfreeze the pipes or unfreeze the engines.
I cast Flaming Sphere to try to warm the spots where the ice has, crusted over everything.
Alrighty. Does anybody else like to help them out?
Okay, fuck it. Can I do? I guess it's maybe too late. All right, I'll spend a 4th level spell slot. I don't know how much it'll help, but I will try to cast Synchronicity. Is one of the things it says. The target can run at full speed through dense crowds, stuff like that. It's just about making an easier trip. So I'm just trying to, I don't know, luck our way into an easy crash landing versus a tough crash landing.
Alrighty. So the creature you touch.
I guess I would run up and just like pat Double G on the back. I mean, she's piloting, right? Like technically.
No, she's down in the engine.
All right, I will run down.
Maybe you should help pilot because you know how to drive, right?
Oh, yeah. Hang on, Basically, hang on. Yeah, that's a good idea. Fuck it, I'll pilot.
Same.
Mason's gonna fucking pat himself on the back and just run up and pilot. Hey,
you really
maybe I'll
want to
help.
have fire directly in ship?
Alright. So this is definitely not a mundane delay, though it will give you it will aid the effect as she's down below the engine, trying to get it started as you're up here, working the consoles and the navigation and all that itself.
Yeah, I just press buttons and Synchronicity maybe make sure that I don't press the one that's like self-destruct. I don't know.
Yeah, Iris double checks with Jeez that she really wants him to go apeshit on this crap with fire.
Yeah, Mel actually doesn't
Do not-
have any fire.
Do not blow up the engine, just either power the engine, give it a good kickstart, and the engine can withstand whatever you have, and just don't explode it. Explosions and powering are two different things.
Okay, well, never mind. Only have explosions.
Okay, so what I have for heat is prestidigitation, but
Always a classic.
if I were to cast spells into the engine itself, would that help? Like, even if they don't create heat?
If it's what spell are you thinking about?
I'm just thinking of burning some higher level spell slots to keep us from crashing.
This isn't the same kind of engine as that.
Okay.
It will need something that either generates energy, heat, or power.
Would mass cure wounds count?
It will not work on a construct.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, greater invisibility. You or a creature you touch. But it's not a creature. I mean, mending. Well, if I was gonna go with if I was gonna go with a cantrip, I would go with prestidigitation. Prestidigitation because it makes heat, or it can make heat.
Wait, really? It can make heat? Oh yeah, that's right. It can make heat, but it can't light like things on fire, basically.
Yeah.
Well, you can light fires, but they have to be really small,
Like
and
a
you
candle.
can warm 1 cubic foot of things per minute.
Nice.
Or no, not minute, per 6 seconds.
But you can keep casting it, so you can just fucking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you realize you don't have like a full minute to do stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's
Because-
6 seconds. It's 1 action per effect to cast, and I can have up to 3 prestidigitation casts up at once. So I will spend 18 seconds warming 3 cubic feet of the chilliest parts of the well, wherever it needs to be warmed, I suppose. This is sounding less effective the more I talk about it.
To warm it, anybody who wants to help her out, she would also offer to pick up one of those cans over there. It's a blowtorch. Just ignite the flame and.
I'll grab a blowtorch.
Alrighty. Following her lead, warming up the particularly cold bits, you might work on another side. As Mel tends to do the same thing with precipitation. With what about Iris? Would you like to do anything to help out? So we got a fourth spell, second spell.
Wait a second. Oh, never mind. Shit. I thought I had a really good idea. I was gonna make the whole ship ethereal, but that only affects myself. Never mind.
Yeah, I have that too. Oh, it would be funny though if you made the ship ethereal, but we were all still
Hang
in the
on.
physical
I
plane.
am the ship. Oh, wait,
And then we all
hang
fell.
on. I touched the ship and I'm like, it's just like the car. I am the ship. Me and the ship disappear and you guys just fall.
That would be so sad.
So blowtorch, blowtorch, blowtorch. Ball will actually cast. I don't know. He has a spell he can cast. No, he's gonna grab a blowtorch as well. Imagine so will Dawn. So let's.
All right, fine. If
I
everybody
mean,
else is,
I
if
prefer
they're going
Dawn.
with blow torches,
Yeah, I prefer
we'll
Dawn
go with a big
continue
blowtorch.
watching Zilk and not let up his guard.
Would it be easier? I mean, would it be more helpful if I wasn't piloting and I actually was just shooting fireballs where they need to be?
Let's see.
Fireballs
That's-
cannot
Well,
have
how
a
much
big
fire do
radius.
we need here? Because like we've got 3 cubic feet of warmth from me. We've got fire, or is it
I mean,
flaming sphere
fire-
from
It's
Archie?
20 by 20 foot radius sphere, so I can just like
Yeah.
heat up the hallway.
And blow up
No,
probably some of your friends as well, but you can also cast it into the engine. She said she does need it to be jump started. How are you gonna use this conjure this fire elemental? Gonna
He
have
just
it
kinda
warm the
walks
pot?
around and everything gets heated up. A
Ooh.
creature that touches the elemental or comes within 5 feet of it takes 5 fire damage.
Ooh.
So it's
Alrighty.
just gotta walk around.
So a few of you definitely feel the heat from this elemental, as especially with the flaming sphere. Some of you might take a bit of damage. So why doesn't everybody except for Mason, and I imagine Iris wouldn't directly be in there, considering it's a hazard zone, make a deck save for me.
Damn, I was really hoping that's one of those except.
So that's Mel.
Iris is helping while also lounging on a chair.
Alman. Let's get one from. We'll get one from both of the NPCs, not one. One from. We'll get one from the Jaeger and Archimedes. I could not think of your name for the longest time, Archimedes. Smell.
Wait, sorry, I'm a little bit lost. Are we doing deck saves?
Yeah,
Yes.
Archimedes and Jaeger, give me a deck save.
To save
All
ourselves
right,
from all this
let's do
fire
one.
magic.
From. Well, that's Archimedes, and now for Oh, that's strange. Oh, that's why. All right, and now for Jaeger.
I like the idea that like the ship's falling, we're getting cold, everyone starts using fire magic, and then suddenly we're not dying by cold and falling, we're dying by
We
fire.
toast ourselves. Oh, that would be so tragic.
I would love it. It's like, don't worry, guys. The ship was falling, so we lit it on fire, and then we died by fire instead.
Alrighty. So Ba and Double G take 5 fire damage, as does Jaeger. The rest of you only take 5. Not really a save to resist the effect or anything. You all know it's a fire
Both
down
those
here.
numbers were 5, Krim.
Both those
which...
numbers are 5.
Well, the elemental was down there too. Or what are we talking about? 5 now?
You said that the people who succeeded and failed at the deck save took 5 fire damage.
Yeah, they take 5, and the ones who succeeded and the ones who failed take 10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But only the NPCs and Jaeger failed. Not really anything too dangerous, but there for effect. As everybody starts flinging fire out, desperately trying to get the ship, they end up scorching some of themselves as fire is haphazardly slung all around just to warm up the engine. You all do manage to kickstart the engine again. Um, the engine itself kicks on as all of the fluids and all of the parts start to function normally. So you do slow your descent pretty fast. Still a little faster than what is needed. Mason is able to pilot the ship. Actually, Mason, why don't you give me intellect or Scob? No, that's not a Scob Eagle check, is there? An intellect check, or if you got something you might think is better.
I have vehicle land, but I could do.
Vehicle land would not be it.
Yeah. All right, I'll just do a int check, not or would it be? No, it won't be any other things. It's not Arcana, is it?
No. An
What
int
about
check.
investigation? All right, fine. All right, you know.
All right. Well, with your synchronicity, we'll say you get a bit of a bonus. It's enough out of the way, but you managed to get the engine, get the ship straightened out as it was falling sort of crookedly, and it does hit the ground. Everyone feels it hit the ground, probably a little harder than what she might have intended. You do get the engines pulled back into the ship as it touches down, and it sort of acts like a normal ship sailing across ice rather than water. All of you do manage to fall straight down. Probably lunged forward a bit, colliding in with one another. Those of all who are down that cramped engine. Iris gets flung out of his lounge chair.
Damn, bud.
And Mason, you get a mouthful of the machines you're working on.
Yeah. As soon as that happens, and we've quote unquote landed, Mason will quickly run out and run to the car, hoping no one saw him, and he's gonna pretend that he was not piloting the ship and he did not crash.
Yeah, you managed to level out the ship and pull the engines in, keeping which was actually pretty helpful. Let's see.
I mean, we think he does not want to take responsibility for that jolt.
Well, when they land and everyone is miraculously alive, Mel will turn to Archie and say, Archie, I don't appreciate what you've done to Jaeger. I thought we were gonna die, and I realized I need to properly express my displeasure. Now that I know we're not dead and we can still talk to each other.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean, old man.
Well, I brought him back.
You didn't bring him, but you didn't bring the important parts.
I'm sure I brought everything back just the way it was. Still the same old Jaeger. Though maybe his mouth circuits are a little bit malfunctioning, but that's fine. I'll fix it.
Jaeger, you did not actually bring him back from the dead. You just repurposed him. This is how he was on the island. So you didn't do this to him, but roleplay.
Mel just rolls her eyes and says, I'll believe it when I see it.
His personality has fundamentally changed, basically.
Iris gets back on his lounge chair and then
Yep.
brings the elemental over now that it's not needed in that engine room anymore and
Yep.
has it give him a massage.
So, a lot of you are battered and bruised, maybe colliding with the machine, or maybe getting scorched by the torch you were holding as it fell, or maybe you fell on it. All of you banging into each other and into machinery. You're bruised and maybe sore in different ways. Double G just kind of hops back up to it like she's used to this. Says, well, landing successful. Shall we go to the bridge? Shall we go to the deck?
One Chuck Yeager quote.
To what?
good landing if you walk away. It's a great landing if you're gonna fly the plane afterwards.
Oh yeah. That's definitely how she sees it.
Right.
See, she's got a particularly black part of her cloak. The fur cloak she's wearing. A little bit of a fire still on her shoulder from landing on her torch. She doesn't seem to notice it and starts to walk away like nonchalantly.
Prestidigitation! Turn off the fire.
She
'Cause
doesn't.
That's the thing prestidigitation does.
Yeah. She doesn't know she's on fire and doesn't realize that you stopped a fire that was on her. But I like that. I like that kind of scene of she's walking away with fire on her and you put it out. Like God.
Okay, I'll do another prestidigitation. An illusory sticky note appears on her back that says "Kick me."
She will not notice.
The best part.
That's cool.
Mason will see her pass with a kick me sign and debate: do I kick her? Do I not kick her?
I would do it. Bubba would do it for sure.
Either way, as you all get up, bruised and maybe singed in various ways, you all head to the bridge of the top of the ship following Double G, or would you like to take some time to recollect yourselves? You see Mel and Archimedes have a little bit of a spat with one another.
Iris is getting his massage.
You all walk up, you see the fire elemental that maybe singed a few of you by accident, or at least you think it's by accident, massaging your celestial friend, hopefully not burning up his cold weather cloak. Alrighty, well, as you all make it to the top deck here, you are well, let's see here. Blizzard. Alright, as you all reach the top deck, she kind of shouts out for everybody to join her. And off the side, which has landed at a weird angle, everything's slight kiltered, a little odd to walk at this angle, but you see off the side of the ship that's lowered down, seems that a group of people, scholars, warriors, and people wielding weapons way larger than them, or larger than you should think someone should have a weapon of.
Same, bud.
Yeah, just think like anime sword. Like no one should be carrying that. That's not right.
I was muted. Mason waves to them.
Alrighty. They're all gathered around, not getting too close to it, watching the spectacle of this giant flying metal monstrosity just crash into the ground next to their village. Double G will look down at her ship, and she'll just kind of say, well, imagine a few repairs are in order. I don't have many spare parts.
I can magically mend things if they're relatively small. We'll get to that when we get to that, I suppose. For now, let's say hi to the locals.
Yep. Mason will hop into the car, and there's enough space for it to drive off. So he will go drive off to greet the locals.
They are a bit of a ways. As you start to get a little bit closer, whether you get off the ship or not, you start to hear them laughing and pointing at the ship. They start to mock you all and your flying machine. As you get closer, they hear Wilms just say, "How pathetic! They need a thing like that to get across the drifts. What weaklings!" Then a few of the big brawlers who are not wearing shirts, by the way, for some reason or another, they have chosen the challenge of the extreme cold rather than wearing anything warm. They go back to what they were doing. A few amused scholars still kind of gather around, looking at the machine, still kind of half laughing at their big muscular friends, trying to more or less appease them, and a few of them will follow behind. Not a few will stay behind to greet you or even mock you further.
Oh, so they just leave?
Yeah, they start to just walk away, dismissive of you, simply calling you weaklings and things like that, that you're not worth the time.
Could I have hitched a ride in your car with you, Mason?
Oh, totally, yeah. Whoever
Alright.
wanted to hop in, they were free to.
Those of you who are still on the ship hear the mocking laughter.
I will
Mason debates,
stride out of the vehicle and I will say,
oh, wow.
"You think we couldn't have traveled this way on foot? We took this vehicle because we had to get here as soon as possible."
You just hear them laughing still as they keep walking off.
Can I roll persuasion? I want to persuade them that we'd be able to have traveled the drifts on foot, but we just didn't because we wanted to get here sooner.
Yeah, go ahead and roll persuasion, see what happens.
Oh.
None of them stick around to be persuaded by you, but you get the feeling a few of them might be able to recognize that you might have been able to survive, that maybe more of the meatheads are just laughing because they want to laugh, and they're just following along with the crowd. But you're being mocked, and they're just going to go with the flow because it's more fun to mock you than it is to agree with you.
Mason will pull up behind you, and then, the door pops open for you to get in.
I'll get back into the vehicle.
And he says, let them say what they'd like. They're fools.
I was
walking
hoping
around
that
beer.
we could, I don't know, talk to them.
There are a few.
That too.
There are a few still hanging about, just kind of, just more curious about the thing than anything else.
We're gonna go
Mason
into the
will-
village, though, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Mason
But
will.
now they're all gonna give us the cold shoulder.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, Mason will roll up, kind of probably shooting snow back, from his back tires. He put chains on the tires just to make it easier for traction.
Sure.
And I think I put it in chat a bit ago. And then he'll speed over to some people, kind of as he goes to a sliding stop. Maybe some of the people who were laughing kind of get smacked with a little bit of snow.
Fucking slick.
And he says, "Hey, just landed. Again," and turns to you, Mel. Trying to be casual,
Hang on, you cut out when you were saying what you were saying to me.
Yeah, Mason's just trying to casually name drop whoever we're supposed to be meeting, who's important here.
Mina Kiel.
Oh.
Yeah, so he'll casually, he'll look at you oh, who are we supposed to be meeting? What's that guy's name?
Oh, we're looking for the lady Mina Kiel.
Yeah, hey, and he rolls the window's already down, but he plays like he's rolling it down more, and he'll say, "Hey, any guys know where to find this?" Looks to you again.
Mina Kiel. She's
Yeah, that's the
expecting
one.
us.
So we've had this. What is everybody else doing at the moment? Are we still on the ship recovering from our crash, or some Mel
Alden's
and
just trying to look really tough. Alden's trying to really compensate for the noodliness and just and the general spherical nature of the cotton clothes that he's wearing, and trying to look as tough as humanly possible. Or
Wait, he's not a human though, right?
Yeah, dwarvenly possible. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I guess I think
Tough
that
as
dwarves in
humanly
general would
possible. Well, it's
look
not as tough as a dwarf.
Exactly. Listen, I'm definitely a tough dwarf.
Oh yeah, if anyone wants to walk up to the car, you can just hop right in. I can fit 2 more people.
Oh yeah, definitely I'm on that car for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a whole form. It's just in this. The heater's on full blast.
Oh yeah. Just casually flexing,
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the window's
This is
open,
too
so
much
the hot
heat.
air
You gotta
is.
turn it down. I'm dressed too warmly for this.
Yeah. He starts turning up some fucking gangster rap. It's like, I didn't even know we got self-perception. Huh?
Just
But,
worth.
yeah, he's just, we can come back to that if you're this other stuff going on.
Alrighty, what about Iris and Archimedes? They all approach this crowd as they kind of laugh them off. Do you follow with them?
The massage isn't over yet. It's only like 5 minutes.
Archimedes, what about you?
I'm sorry. What? That's really funny. Yeah, like, hold on a minute. I know we just crash landed, but it's pretty.
I mean, we didn't die. It worked out. It worked out.
Yeah, fair enough.
He used all that magic to summon this elemental. He's gonna use it.
I mean, it's six
I feel
syllables grow on trees. They grow, with sleep.
That's true.
I'll go with group. Why not?
Welcome aboard.
You can choose to ride the small flying death trap if you want to, or you can walk.
I'm not flying.
Does the small flying death trap have good seats?
It is not flying, but it does have very comfy seats. It seats 4 comfortably. It could seat 5, maybe even 6 medium-sized creatures, but it's not comfy.
Got a really clown car, right?
Yeah. So
He's small though, isn't he? So it's a perfect fit.
Basically child-sized.
maybe if there's 2 small in the back, and then a medium, and then a 2 medium in the front.
How many children can we fit in the trunk?
Just let me.
Just for science. Just for science.
Yeah, well, it's the front.
One.
The car's design is a front, so you could open up and you can run into someone, knock them in. So
Yeah.
it's meant to carry a body, It's a
Yeah.
design choice.
Design choice, yeah.
It's a legend for dead drop.
Oh yeah. Oh, next time I'm gonna put the body in the car, go from one end of the ship, floor it, and then hit the brakes so it flies out.
Like a catapult.
Oh my
no.
God.
That's how we'll play the next version of Dead Drop.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Crunch.
So when you bring up the name of Minakiel, one of the remaining bruisers and brawlers who was staying behind just to see what else happened. You slide the snow into them and he seems unfazed. It collides into him and just falls off of him. He just doesn't even notice. Then he'll just, when you bring up the name Minakiel, he'll say, of course a weakling wants to see a weakling. Birds of a feather crash together. And
Rolls
he'll,
eyes.
yeah, he'll wave you off and start to walk on, and then one of the scholarly will just kind of stay behind he'll say, yeah, Minakiel. He kind of looks at the brawler walking off. He's waiting till he leaves before he says anything. And you get the feeling that they don't have a very high opinion of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mason's very much getting the sense that, it's high school all over again, where
most definitely these are the jocks.
Yeah, Mason's just like, all right, great, a bunch of annoying jocks. All right, let's go kill some giants and then be better at their own thing than them.
The one that stays behind will the one that stays behind. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, we need some help. We need to we can't just leave and go kill some giants. We have to recruit some followers, right? I mean, there's no way we're gonna do this on our own.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
was
could do it.
thinking we'd team up because they're the ones who know how to fight the giants.
You gotta charm at least one person. We got some persuasion. Turn that charm on and let her rip because we need.
Well, this guy's gonna tell us where this person we're looking for is.
Fair.
So. turns back to outside the car to the guy who's just like waiting for the guy to leave.
Yeah. They'll just say, yeah, this Mina Kill, she's actually the head researcher here. They only call her head researcher. It's not a very important title, but as you can see, they don't really value our intellect.
Well, it's not something they have, so he like does a little like shoulder jab to the guy, like, huh?
Oh, they will straight murder me.
Well,
But
thank you for your, and he'll slide him like I don't know, like 2 gold.
Alright, I'll just say, she's in one of the spires, out of that way. He kind of points to a bunch of different spires. Just look for the one with a lot of other scholars like ourselves.
Will do. And he'll do like a head nod, and then the bare head of his cold weather gear comes down, and there's like it's kind of like the eyes have been cut out for like sunglass goggle type things. So now you can't see at the top of his face. There's just like goggles, and he will, floor it off in the direction he was gestured to. I'm guessing the rest of the group can find the tracks.
Yeah. Before you head off, Double G and Ball will be following. After looking around the outside of the ship, they'll start to walk towards the rest of you. I'm not sure. Let's see what we have. We have Jaeger and Iris still on the ship. But and Dawn as well. But
I would really like Dawn to watch over Zilk. And by extension, the ship, and if Double G is staying, I suppose her as well. You never know if there might be, like, giant man-eating slugs that come for them.
Fair.
no. Well, this not really anything that's going to pose any sort of difficulty traveling, but yeah. The Double G will approach with Ba, and they'll just say, what'd they say?
Oh, I said I sped off.
Oh.
I sped off, honked twice, and just, I left a trail to follow to where the people we're looking for is.
Alrighty. So here we split the party with Jaeger and Iris still on the ship, with Ba and Double G. Ba and Double G are walking towards the village. Mason and your group, they let's see here.
Yeah, so you can just put yourselves on the car.
I'm just putting them on here so I can kind of
okay.
keep track of who's where.
Oh, good.
Dawn's staying behind. Archimedes went. Alrighty. Well, as you go through the village, it is rather crowded. You see giant groups of people gathering around. A lot of people are wearing their cold weather gear and all that, but the ones in the pits aren't. Looks like they're fighting each other fist to fist. There's quite a few of these fights going on and around the buildings. A lot of cheering and yelling. They seem pretty interested in their brawling. You see a few scholars peek in every now and again, but they continue on with their work, moving about the village, doing various things. No one really stops you. No one really impedes you. Actually, a lot of them carry weapons, oversized weapons. Normally too big for a normal person to carry. So actual oversized weapons. They're able to use proficiently. A few of them have various modifications to them. One thing is kind of clear is that they're not made to fight smaller creatures. But all the people pay you no mind. They're rather dismissive of some of you. And do you head straight to one of the spires?
Yep, to the one with all the scholars in it. And synchronicity's still up, so nothing's getting in our way.
Yay.
We literally have the perfect route.
Nice.
I'm just picturing like, a very unsuited to cars terrain with like potholes and little rocks and small children. And like you just sort of like don't even look at the road and just drive.
No, literally his like foot's like he's like maybe like messing with the heater or something, and his foot's just firmly like fully like
Oh.
down, and it's just like, oh my god, we're gonna hit that, and the kid just takes one step and it's missed by like an inch.
Oh man, the
Incredible.
whole time Mel is just like on edge, looking completely terrified, but also not wanting to say anything because that would be a show of weakness.
Yeah, he starts lighting a joint, just like no hands on the wheel. It's like, it's okay, we'll get there.
I didn't know that yeah, you could smoke those and drive at the same time.
I'm just a really good driver. Hits a bump, flies out the window. Shit, it's my last one.
Yes, excellent driver.
Oh look, we're here.
Alrighty, so it is rather busy. The few of the scholars you see coming in, then why can't I not? Oh, there we go. So as you see, a few scholars bringing in, they're bringing lots of paperwork, and a few other ones are leaving with them. Not that it really matters what they're carrying. It is a small doorway, so your car's not going to be able to fit through it. It is, but you might have to get out of your car here, park it outside, but you're heading inside of a building, basically. You see a giant ice spire. Now that you got a close look at them, you're pretty sure they weren't natural, but they are definitely man-made. As you see various kind of engravings made into them, just drawings and things like that, like someone carving into a tree, basically. There's intricate design work to it, and looks like the base is hollowed out where people have stayed inside. And inside is where you will meet Mina Kiel. At this point, let's see. You all want to just head right on inside, or you want to wait for your party members, or?
I mean, we could find a good
Head right in.
spot while we wait for everybody.
Yeah,
Oh, I
think
guess
it'd be
that
a
makes
good
more
idea
Let's all
here.
go together.
But
Yeah.
also,
Whoop.
real life me has to go to the bathroom. Do you mind if we take
Oh,
a
hey, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll take a bit of a break
good.
here. Double G, no one else knows where to go to find this scholar, but imagine wandering around aimlessly for a while, they might find their way to you. But
I left. I let like the car leaves tracks. That I was trying to leave tracks for them to follow. I don't think there's any other tracks quite like the cars in this entire place. If they're using
Alrighty.
sleds and claws.
We'll figure that out when we get back. We'll take a bit of a short break here. We'll continue on when everybody gets back.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, stream. We'll take a bit of a break and we'll be right back. It does look like we got a few people in here. Hello to everybody. Not going in chat yet, but that's fine. This session is mostly RP. We've had a session and a half of combat last time, so we'll probably have a few sessions as we all decide what we need to do. The party did just crash land their airship into an ice drift, or not an ice drift, basically the ground, which is nothing but made of ice. And we'll see how the party handles the situation. Let's see. I am doing here is making a token for one of the new character had new art for their person, and we shall get it updated for him. I like the new art.
Hey, I'm back.
Hello.
Hey.
Getting the new art for Mel uploaded for a token.
All right.
I'm gonna eventually go through all this and get rid of like all the odd art.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Ooh, I like it. I think we saw it before, but I still like it.
Alrighty, everybody. So, Roll20 has its own kind of nonsense. When you're setting up tokens, go through, make all of this is both edit and see for player tokens. C means you can see it when they basically a bar of health above their health. You can other players can see it. Otherwise, only you can. The GM and the person who can edit it. Make it C, make it visible to everyone. Edit means the person who controls the token can actually edit things on it, which is pretty important if you're the one controlling the character, which I think that is set defaultly. But I have in my game settings, I have it set defaultly to make everything C and editable. Everything except for the name, because I don't want the names seen on the tokens I drag off. Because this setting will also set it on creature settings as well. Which is really nice, because you don't have to do any kind of settings to all the tokens, every single one you drop off. It's already preset, set to the game how you got it set in your game settings. And of course, dynamic lighting, the new one is you want to give tokens vision, so the person who controls it can see through the token. They have night vision, set their night vision. Which I don't think Mill had not. The original token of Mill had night vision. Oh, she does. And I always tinted a fun little color. Now this is very, very distracting if it's a really good, like thick, solid color. So always make it something really light. Even white is really obtrusive. So you probably don't want that. And then there's two settings here if you want to play with those. Limit field of vision is just if you want to like make their vision a cone, which is good in theory, but the fact that they rotate their token around to do it, and most of them won't do it anyway, so it's a good effect. It's more good for like lanterns and things where it creates just a cone of light for the players to see, especially on NPCs, which is really nice. I always do about a 5 vision bright light so they can see their token itself and a little bit around them. Alright, and with the bars, one for HP, which will connect to their character sheet. And always make one of them AC, so there's always an AC bubble. So you can just click on their token, and AC pops up and shows what their AC is, so you don't have to keep asking them every time you do an attack on them. I do this with enemy tokens as well, though with NPC tokens, there's a special setting called NPC AC. Yeah, there it is. You want to use that for NPC sheets, otherwise it does not calculate correctly. Let's see. I think that's her setting. One more important thing, if you ever update the tokens at all, this does not automatically update it to the token on the sheet you saved. See, I did all that settings, but it doesn't change the token that's set, because that is very, very clearly a different one. Every time you make any adjustment to the sheet at all, always resave it to the sheet. Because the effects you make onto a token on that page does not carry on. It's just for that page only, basically. If you want it to carry on to multiple pages, you have to reset it to the sheet. Basically, if you get it set the way you want it, completely delete it off the character sheet, and then they just reset it. I've had a few problems with that. Not me specifically, but I've taught a lot of DMs how to do that too. The games I play in, I like teaching. I like teaching new players, and also like teaching new DMs. But of course, you never want to be obstructive with that, so you know. Don't be a rules lawyer. Only offer when they ask. You don't want to be say, this is how it actually is supposed to be. And of course, if it is a ruling you think is really important, just message them, and they will they'll look at it after game and just say, oh, well, yeah, that is right. I should look at that. Do it afterwards. But never interrupt the flow of a game in session. That is the absolute worst taboo. At least I think it is. Especially having to keep stopping to look up rules too is a really awful thing. Let's check back with the players. Alrighty, is everybody doing well?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Iris and Blog, are you all back yet? I will take that as a no. I haven't heard anything from Iris in a while, actually. Check, make sure he's still with us.
I was dead.
So tell me, Volman, what part of Gideon the Ninth are you at?
That is a so Gideon just went down and found God, I'm bad with names. Her necromancer passed out on the floor because she was working too hard.
Oh yeah!
I forgot her name, but yeah, I was like, nice. I'm a little nervous. Has anybody else? Does this need a spoiler warning?
No, I don't know if anyone else here has so much as heard of it.
Okay, that's
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
okay.
Yep.
So
The book I said I was reading until it was time for this game is the sequel to this one that we are talking about.
Is the one you linked in chat?
No, let me open up a new tab.
Anyway, while you do that, the one you linked in chat, I was actually looking at that and looked at a bunch of reviews. Everybody just say it's a gay romance novel. What's
which
going on with this book you're talking
the long
about?
way to a small language.
Oh, that one! Oh, no, no, I wouldn't call it that. But there is a gay romance in it. Funny you should say that, though. This other one sounds from the description like it's a gay romance, but it is not. I assure you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm a sucker for romance myself, but that's all
Oh
right.
no, I like romance. I definitely do. But if that's the main focus, the gay romance is the main focus of that book, I might just go look at something else.
No, it's like one of those science fiction books that like packs in a billion like interesting ideas. It's like, oh, isn't this a neat idea? And then like it doesn't actually explore most of them.
Okay.
No, really? Damn. I'm still early days, so I'm like, but then it'll
See,
get
now you ruined the unfortunate surprise.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Because I was gonna say, like, it's pretty good the way like, it feels pretty natural the way that it communicates to you what the world is like. It doesn't feel like it's just doing exposition dump, which is pretty cool. But I guess it's unfortunate it's not gonna explore it.
Yeah. See, like the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, like it's I really liked it, but it's very much like if you were to play Mass Effect without reading any lore and without talking to your crew in between missions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
So how I like normally play it.
Oh, I
What?
can't believe you're that kind of
What the hell?
person.
Like, why?
I don't know how you play those games and not be like, I can't progress at all because I have to spend all this time talking to every single person every single time. I might miss something. I don't want to miss anything. I have to do this. So that's what I do, and I hate it.
That is what I do. One of the new releases of a game is Atelier Raza, and like it is cutscene hell if you just want to like explore all the side routes. I am 15 hours in. I'm only about 20% of the plot.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I feel like that's what happened when I did Cyberpunk. I like did everything side, and then by the time I finished, it was like, oh, I just did like all the story stuff in like an hour. That was meant to be a
Yeah.
lot longer.
I haven't really been playing it much because I know that there's such little replay value. I'm never gonna play this game again, so I feel like I have to wring everything out of one single playthrough.
Oh no, I'm replaying it. I'm actually streaming replaying it. I got really super early Mantis Blades. I'm using nothing but it on a harder difficulty. So
Oh,
that is
yeah.
that is my next
Oh.
playthrough.
You know,
Quick fact,
it's yeah.
apparently the stock market's on fire.
Oh yeah, I heard
Oh,
about that.
have you not been seeing all the stuff with the Redditors
Technically.
taking on the big
I've
corporate
heard
funds?
it, I just didn't quite know what it meant, so I was just talking to people about it.
I don't
Oh,
watch
yeah, no,
news.
it-
Oh, hang on. A Reddit
Oh,
moderator
it's
sent
su-
me a
it's
YouTube
such
video
a
about it.
cool-
Let me find it.
Yeah, it's like a crazy story of like a bunch of Redditors noticed that I forget what the place was. One place was like short selling GameStop, and so they
Yeah.
all banded together, bought it, and it went. It's like I think it was like 1,500% like up, and then Robinhood, which is the thing they were using, which lets anybody play in the stock market, basically started like
Boy, oh
stopping
boy,
people from
is
doing it. So
there-
there's a big outcry
This
of
is
like
in the
this is
last day.
literally an
Hedge fund.
obvious like market manipulation, and so they're going to other
Right.
places, but they're also finding other companies like AMX or what is it, AMC, I mean, and like
Yep.
they're like, oh, they're short selling this one, let's fucking get them. And so I found the best meme, and there's like Elon Musk is like getting in on this, and it's just like a crazy,
Of course,
crazy.
I'm not gonna get in on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's just like every step of this, every single like it's been going on for like a little over a week, as far as I could tell. But every single step just gets better and better. I have to find this because this is the funniest tweet.
Very lose all your money. It's the same
Uh,
joke, though, right? Like, it's actually a farce. It's like, what? Like, what is actually happening?
I mean, it was meant to be like they got greedy. They were doing crazy shit, and then now they're whining about how the poor people are taking their money. That's the one I was gonna post. Oh my god, that was literally it.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's so good.
That's so good.
Take my money.
It's that's literally like what's going on. It's so fucking good. It's insane. I think this one.
I'm like not on
Uh,
Reddit, so I didn't catch it. And I
This
really
is
liked the back
this is
today and it was closed.
this is a little bit old. I think this is or no, this is technically still today.
Oh damn! Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's a lot of text there.
It is, but this explains all the shit that's going on. I read this today at like 4 a.m. So to me,
Man,
it's
they
a
gotta make
yesterday
it so
thing.
small too.
Oh well, if it's in Twitter, it's easier. But yeah, that is a general explanation of literally what happened or what's happening.
Wow, that's
Yeah, no, it's awesome. If I had money to play in the stock market, I would definitely be in on this. It's probably going to end like tomorrow's you
The
know,
stock's
you
already
pull out.
crashing though, right?
Well, like you
After
should pull
Robin
out
Hood
now.
cut it.
Yeah. Well, they cut it off, and now they're saying, "Oh, we'll release it back." Like it dropped by 50%, but it was up like 100 and like 1,500%. So
I mean, it's just dumb because
still,
the company. I bet you the hedge fund managers right now shorting all these stocks that they know for sure are gonna crash, and then they're gonna make off all the difference, and they're not gonna go broke at all.
well, we'll see what happens. But like, it is insane. Like it's such a crazy situation. And now there's like this whole thing of like there's like class action lawsuits, or what is it? Not class. Is it class action?
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
I think class action
Some-
is primarily between like employees and bosses, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's class action. It's supposed to. It's I'm like literally. I'm just checking my like own profile of retweets and stuff because there's literally some
Yeah,
sort of
fucking kill you.
some form of lawsuit happening because of Robin Hood stopping people from trading, and
Iris got
people-
booted.
That's like dumb as fuck.
It's not very free on the free market, you know?
right. Well, that's the thing.
Absolutely
That's what
not.
they're saying. It's like they're literally manipulating the market by not letting people do this, and then the bigger companies are all complaining because it's like, but they're taking our money now, and it's like,
It's like-
well.
Like we all knew, but it was nice when they like pretended. You know what I mean? Like we all knew, but it's like I don't, it's like what the hell?
They're getting what they deserve, being greedy.
Are they though?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna win it.
Iris, you
We'll
okay?
see. We'll see.
Mr. Iris, are you back yet?
You back?
He got booted down to the AFK channel, so he hasn't actually said anything in a bit.
Huh.
I hope he's okay. He's still logged into Discord. It would have disconnected him.
Did he say he was gonna AFK? I honestly forgot who went to AFK.
He didn't. He just kind of, I guess, died. I guess. I don't know. We'll
Oh
I
dear.
mean, happens to the best of us.
I mean, we only got about 30
Yeah.
more minutes, so we'll kind of we'll carry on and see if he comes back. He's not with current party anyway.
Well, we're waiting for everyone else, so it's fine. We can. He's watching the ship.
He's with Ball assessing the damage, still getting his massage, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I know we're about to start again, but sorry, I just realized I gotta use the rest of my beer back. Sorry.
Alright. Let's see. Yep, Ball is not gonna be able to get to tell you that, so
Hey, who needs to be told things? Well, except for where to go and what to do and who we killing and how many times.
oh yeah. So after a bit of waiting, you don't see anybody following after you all. Looking back into the crowd, you do look about the village. You see quite a lot of people. There's a few wooden buildings, but most of them are more inside the ice spires themselves. It is so cold out here that most people don't spend too long outside. You get the feeling that most of these people do because they're just being stubborn. It is actually quite far into the negatives how cold it is out through here. You do see a lot of sleds where they just pack up basically whole buildings worth of supplies, and they're very nomadic. You see rather large birds, actually. They are axe beaks. This is what they use to pull their sleds. They're able to pull quite a bit and travel pretty well. Those of you who don't know what axe beaks are, they're pretty much the alternative to sled dogs in many D&D scenarios.
Mason
Are they
scoffs.
pictures? Are there pictures?
I'm sorry?
I'll look it up.
Axe beaks.
Oh yeah, like the birds.
Yeah, they're like just large birds. I think they have talons and webbed feet, kind of.
Yeah, well they're like ostriches a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mason will scoff at them as such a primitive method.
They are able to carry a large load, which is pretty much what they use them for. Otherwise, they'd probably be eaten. This is basically the Arctic way of travel, other than sled dogs. I think it's actually in Icewind Dale they gave us like actual travel statistics with them. Where I pulled a lot of the Arctic travel out of. But after a while of not seeing Iris follow behind, if he wanted to follow you, he probably would have, but no one is coming behind you. So probably is left for the four of you to continue on. Don't know how long you want to actually wait, if you want to go back for them or not.
Is Iris within?
I
Hang
haven't
on,
turned.
let me get out this spell. Is Iris within 120 feet?
Wait, was that him?
Was that who? Oh, it's
Oh.
Ashlyn. That's me. Sorry.
No.
Okay, Iris is too far away. I'm not gonna burn a spell slot trying to message him. I'm sure he'll find us. I mean, he's got the power of God on his side.
And anime?
He probably doesn't know what that is. I don't know if this fellow has TV. He
Looking-
is from a technology shunning people.
Looking at the size of the swords on these people, maybe.
That's true.
That's pretty good. That's pretty.
So would you all like to head in, giving up your weight?
Yes.
Giving up our weight. Sorry, I missed that.
You all are waiting for everybody to kind of follow along and join you. You all sped off into the car. But it doesn't look like anybody's following. It looks like Ball and Double G started to follow after you all, but they gave up and went back to the ship.
Oh, well.
God. So
Mason-
for you meant WAIT, not WEIG.
Yeah, give up your weight. It's like, what are we eating?
Yeah.
What are we carrying?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Sorry,
Mason will lock the car as everyone leaves, and he'll. So I'm imagining this. This is just like the picture here. Like it's like one of these, right?
Yeah, except the top of it is a giant spike, but yeah.
Right. He'll park right here. Like literally, he'll like if it's in the way at the corner of the entrance, like he'll park like literally the closest possible.
Alrighty. You'll inconvenience some of the scholars who are
Right,
coming in and out pretty.
He'll move it like 5 feet over.
Alrighty, fair enough. So as you all move in, the place is fairly busy. None of the bruisers or brawlers come near here. It's not their scene, so to speak. There are a lot of people at desks doing research, comparing notes. A lot of reports are getting brought in, carried to various places.
Nerd.
Yeah, basically. There's a spiral staircase, and you see on a plaque the name Minakiel, and it would be common. Going up the spiral staircase. As you make your way through the busy room and up the stairs, a scholar rushes past you before you even get on the stairs, carrying a handful of scrolls. And halfway up the stairs, the same person comes down the stairs, pushes past you again, and keeps going.
These are nomadic settlements, but there's stairs. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, to what degree these are permanent structures, and to what degree they're like ladders that somebody took out of their bag. You know what I mean?
These ice spires their main purpose seems to be stopping the giants. A few of them.
Okay.
A few of them have little spaces crawled out into them. This one seems to be one of the more intricate ones, a actual research room. But again, there's no bookcases. Most of everything's carved out of ice except for a few chairs to sit on. There might be like a plank of wood sitting on top of an ice block that they use as a desk. Nothing.
So this particular building is by no means nomadic.
It is built into the ice itself.
Yeah, cool.
Though there is a layer on top of them to keep you from slipping on it. Maybe like a rug or a block of wood or something. But as you head up to the stairs, here you actually do see a few bookcases. A lot of them seem really old. A few of them have even fallen and collapsed. In the middle of the room, which is a little indention that goes back down a bit, you see the picture of. Actually, this is a. Where is she at? Oh, she's actually in the. Moved her up. That's right. There she is. I don't think a picture does really much justice there, but I'll link it in Discord too. Never mind, I don't have a just a ready picture for her. Well, I will pull her off and there's a decent picture for her. When I drew a while back. She is a white tiefling.
Tiefling. Okay, got it. It's a hell of a
Do it.
Hell of a tail, I said, sorry.
Alrighty. Set the scene here. She's seen inside. She's on the ground. There's a lot of sort of cross-legged. She has her eyes closed, both of her arms up, kind of in a meditative sense. Around her is a series of floating books. Quite a few of them all around her. There's no possible way she's reading them all, but what you see is texts floating off the books, almost being pulled out of the books themselves, and you see a sheen of white light scan across them, and shortly afterwards, the text returns to the book, and you see this as a cascade of text kind of swirls around her. You see a spectral hand, a mage hand, and a little unseen servant kind of tending to her need, flipping through the pages of the books. And each time a new page is flipped, a new string of text starts to lift off of it, and old strings return. She will notice your presence coming up, and she'll just say, yes. Oh wait, no. What's her voice now? She'll call out to you. Yes. All the scrolls go into the bin that way. And she doesn't really pay much heed after that.
Hey, lady. Mason waves.
Hey, lady.
Does she not turn to look?
She does not turn at all. She just says, All reports and scrolls, please put them over that way in the bin. I will get to them when I have time.
Mason will walk up.
You have something more precious than scrolls and reports. You have the great gift of our company.
That's a bold claim there, Doc.
Yeah, and as you say that, Mason walks up to like a seat across from her, sits in it, and like puts his feet up on like a table or a desk or whatever he can rest his feet on, waiting for her to actually pay attention.
So you just get kind of an exasperated sigh, and a few of the books kind of lower a bit. Just, what do you want?
We're here for you. You literally. What was the thing again? Hey, Mel.
Hold on. I may not be the right one to ask here.
Mason shifts his eyes over to Archimedes.
Hang on. Real life me is trying to figure out what the current quest we are on actually was, because I know that we were supposed to come here.
We're doing something here. Wait,
yeah,
Mason doesn't know it either. Mason's like, we're doing something here to get a drill, but he doesn't really know what's up with the drill.
You're the
Listen, lady.
All right.
Okay, Mechano Lord Stedger sent us here because we are supposed to retrieve something from a Titan, and you are the local expert on Titans.
Hey, you wanted us to go deal with the Titan, as far as I could tell. That's why you called us here.
She'll finally open up her eyes and look at you all. Not from the research division. nor a slayer. Tourists.
Well, we're better than a slayer.
Lord Stedger, you say? That manipulative old man got someone to actually take the job. Either he's getting more clever, or you're just not very bright.
You know, I think I have a terrible feeling it's the latter. But we're here now, so hey, might as well make the most of it. We are very good at killing things.
Not that they're
Among
very
other things.
She just kind of rolls her eyes. She'll have her mage hand and unseen servant gather up the books. She'll place them in a very particular order on a desk across the way. These are a lot of books filled with a lot of knowledge. On a bookshelf close to her on the other side of the room, there is a bookcase full of very worn books. One she seems to read through quite often as the spine is kind of faded out. And she'll walk off and start to go through this little tiny, looks like a little small bookcase where she keeps a few personal things. She'll just say, "Wait just a moment. Let me look here."
Mason will smile, and if there's a book that she doesn't seem to be like, if there's just like a book that's on the ground somewhere, that doesn't seem to be like important or anything, he'll like mage hand it up and start browsing it just to wait until she's ready.
Alrighty. Mel, Archimedes, and Veilman, what do you all do? Are y'all just kind of waiting to the side?
Well,
Yeah, I'll just sort of wait.
Things
I
are
will I'll make a small top hat appear on top of some stack of scrolls.
Aw,
I don't know if anyone's gonna notice it, but it's there.
that's fine.
can Archie put on the top hat?
It's a physical object, yes, but it is small enough to fit in the palm of a human-sized hand.
Well, I'm a gnome, so like, isn't that just like the size of a head?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I suppose so.
So do you go over and take the top hat off this stack of scrolls and put it on your head instead?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
Mason
Mason.
starts to look like he can slay a titan, basically. So
Alrighty,
just generally being stoic and menacing.
Mason and Archimedes, why don't you give me a perception or an investigation?
All right. Oh, Archimedes knows shit.
Sure does. So Mason, you catch on to this a little bit later, but Archimedes, as you go pick up the scrolls and where the top out the scrolls, you see a few curious books. A few of them even seem a little familiar to you. With that kind of investigation, you notice right off the bat that a few of them have your name on them. And Mason, you notice this as well. One of the particularly worn books. It has written by Archimedes, whatever his last name is. I don't think you wrote it down anywhere, but
Mason will like glance over to Archimedes, look back at the books, glance over at Archimedes, mage hand a book. He'll remember where he pulls it from, though. He wants to return it. Just
Archimedes is far more interested in the top hat right now. But, you know.
fair enough.
Yeah. What's the book that I pull say? It's written by him, and I'm looking at him.
It's another one of the worn books she carries. This is one she didn't put back on the stack because she was keeping it near the place she was meditating. It is. Let's see. Look at her sheet. Oh, cool. Transcribing glyphs in circle theory.
Huh.
Sure.
He will switch to reading this book.
After a while, she'll just kind of return back. She'll just say, "Please do not look through my personal belongings."
My
Fine.
apologies. He will mage hand it back to its proper space. I'm just curious what old Archie here got up to back in the day. some circle theory seemed interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Circle theory. I know all about that.
I hope so. You wrote the book, like lifts up the book with the written by, you know,
Oh,
Archimedes.
yeah. That old thing. God, I forgot like half the shit I wrote in it.
Anything useful?
Grim, is there
Maybe
anything useful in it?
better open it and find out.
Why don't you roll me a
Well-
history check?
Who?
All right, I'm actually good
Archimedes.
at the.
All right.
Here we go. Hold on, we just
Can I assist him? Don't even need to assist him.
don't think you need to.
Basically spell theory about how to, a few interesting things. It's mostly all theoretical, just, about summoning circles, teleportation circle, how to infuse other spells into glyphs and arrange them in various ways to make spells work and be effective. But she will, before you get a chance to mage hand it back, she'll kind of snatch it out of the air. No. This is one of my personal books. The man who wrote this is long dead and missing. Dead.
Turns to, hey Archimedes, are you long dead and missing?
Don't
Oh.
ask such personal questions.
Yeah, it's a bit rude. Don't mind my compatriot here. He can be a little loopy at times.
Mason will draw a loop in the air using minor illusion.
Archimedes will start.
Solid.
with me.
She looks between the two of you curiously, and you didn't write this book, did you? Are you
I did.
claiming this? She's
Uh,
looking to Archimedes.
Oh.
I don't think I don't think that's the book I wrote in. No, the book that I wrote in was a little bit browner. I think I had some designs on the back. It's not the same one. Someone else copied and pasted the work over.
That is such a fucking solid line. So good.
I saw it coming. It was so good.
Are you actually being deceitful here, or you want to? What are you trying with this?
Let's go with it's not necessarily deceitful, but I can roll deceit if you like.
Roll what we think is
That should be a
appropriate. Trying to convince her that you didn't
persuasion.
write this.
Let's just go with the straight up deception check.
All right.
I
Go
am bad
for
at
it.
these, but let's go with it. Yep, not very good.
She'll sort of set the stuff she was holding down, walk over to you, Archimedes. She'll actually bend over, and she'll just look you over and just She pokes you in the cheek and just says, "Say something old."
Something old? I wouldn't know anything about old things.
She
We have to roll another deception. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that deception's good enough because she recognized you. She'll actually grab hold of you, pick you up, and start hugging you. Said, "Oh God, it is you!"
Oh my goodness. What? Oh, goodness, I knew I had this effect on women, but goodness, I never knew it'd be this strong.
She sets you down and said,
Oh,
"God, where have you been this entire time? Everyone thought you died."
well, they're not fully wrong. Well, let's see. First I was in a forest. First I got lost. Then I joined a guild. Then I got lost in the forest. I've been all over the place. But I'm right back to where I started from, I guess. Just, experimenting with the greatest circle of all. The circle of life.
Aren't we all, bud?
And also a bit of death.
Just kind of looks at you. Still not making any more sense and forgetting where you're going. I honestly want to say you haven't changed a bit, but why did you never come back? The whole academy was waiting for you.
Academy. That reminds me, there's something I was supposed to do. Oh, right, grading.
You went off for
I
a
never
walk.
got around to that.
You went off for a walk one day. Told us you didn't need a map. That you were going to figure it out yourself, and never came back. We searched for you, but you simply disappeared.
Mellifluous is just like staring completely in shock. Just like jaw dropped.
Well, Mel, you know you met this person before, back in the Bet2 War Factory.
Yeah, but like I didn't know that that Archimedes was a professor who just didn't walk away in the middle of grading papers one day.
Oh, he's super old. He's done a lot of things. Half of which he's forgot.
Hey, but I think I've mostly fixed that problem. I remember the things from like the past 2 years. So, you know, improvement.
She kind of... hearing Mel kind of chime in a bit, and he just kind of steps back a bit. She blushes, a little embarrassed that she had made such a scene. Anyway, well, just the same, the academy sort of fell to ruins afterwards. Without you there to maintain the summoning circles, a few demons got loose and things just sort of got out of hand.
What?
Oh man.
I thought I trained my students better than that. God damn it.
Without you there, a lot of the teachers kind of relied on you to maintain the circles. They sort of slacked off a bit, I guess, but...
So, hold on. Do I know the teleportation circle code for the previous academy?
Roll me a history check.
Such an important history check.
It's okay. Not great.
I was muted. I was trying to say, could I give him advantage?
With his own memory, probably not.
That's fine.
You do remember teleportation circle for academy. Looking at this person in front of you who seems very familiar to you. You're not quite sure where connection is with you yet, though. You do remember the days back in your academy. You taught a lot of spell theory there, pursuing your own interests in circle theory and all of that. The mages you were with really more supported your efforts. The academy was just something that happened there afterwards. The mages that were there, kind of helping you figure things out, decided to take on a lot of magical students, and just sort of came into an academy, teaching younger students how to do magic or research things. With the primary focus on circular spells and the advanced mystical science of geometry.
Remember, how does an oval spell interact with a sphere spell? Does it jut out like a point, or does the sphere contain it? Can anyone answer me this question?
Yeah.
Mason will try to answer the question.
Mel looks away awkwardly.
Does a 14 Arcana answer the question?
Not with your shitty 3 roll, you bitch.
Hey, I have such a good Arcana, man. That's a
Fucking
14 from
brutal.
a 3.
Wow.
Like, even when Mason doesn't know what he's talking about, he'll say something of
Oh, you're
mediocre
that student who
relevance.
didn't do the required reading, but when the teacher
Oh, no,
calls
Mason
on
is
them...
always the student he didn't do the required reading. He just bullshits his answer.
Good enough.
So
Sounds like one of the students.
as you rattle off one of your lectures, she's for sure you are who you say you are. Probably mindlessly rattling it off. You do recognize remember the sigils of your personal tower that was there.
Oh, I forgot about that thing. Oh man, I wonder if anyone's cleaned it. Really should have taken out the trash before I went out for that walk.
Oh, well, we all had to leave pretty
You said there were
immediately.
demons in the university?
Yes, no one to maintain the summoning circles. They sort of broke loose, and with no one really capable of casting the banishment spell, there were at least not all the new beginner students. They just sort of overran. That's not even the worst part. That's not even the worst part.
It's not?
A few of the students decided to join them and continue to summon more. It's the cost of a summon demon spell being... Actually, I'm not even sure that's true. But a summon demon spell being more easier to use than a banishment spell.
I believe that might be true. Summon lesser demons, because banishment is let's see. Yeah,
Fourth,
banishment
I
is
think.
4th level.
But it's been years since I've been back there.
How many years, out of curiosity?
About 6 or 7.
Do you know what happened to the demon cult of students?
I imagine they're still there. I had the summoning circle myself written down somewhere, but...
I wonder if they could help avert an apocalypse.
If you want to consort with the demons, that'll be on you. Well, I know all of Archie's stuff is probably still there. Only he could get into his tower. Well, him and me, that is.
Alright, I have a new personal goal. God damn it. We have to repair the summoning circle. It's not right that that's broken. A circle broken just disturbs me to my very core.
New player side quest attained. God damn it!
Will we ever run out of side quests to gain, and then we'll never finish because there are too many?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're there for you. You'll just say that all your personal belongings are still there. No one can really get into the tower, but the academy is long gone. Probably still a bunch of demons there. Without a way to return them, they just sort of... And more being summoned. Who knows what's become of that academy.
Oh man, I mean, like, Archie, if you ever want to go back there, I do know banishment, but, like, I can't cast it all that many times per day.
No, we need like 10 people who can cast banishment. Or maybe just 10 scrolls of banishment.
Honestly, there are so many of them, you're probably better off just fighting them regularly.
Well, it would be good to dust off a few old books and get into a few more scraps. Just like in my youth.
Matt, I can always give you the summoning circle later.
Yes. For now, we've kind of got a continent we need to prevent exploding. We were wondering if you could help with that.
Kind of sighs a bit. Yes, the Lord Stager has taken particular interest in one of my research specimens. I want to say you're either desperate, out of options, or just simply being blackmailed. But it doesn't really matter, does it?
All three.
No, we're not being blackmailed. But yeah.
Are you being blackmailed, Archie?
We're all being blackmailed.
Or not?
Well,
It
they've
does.
got nothing on me.
It doesn't matter. You do know he wants the heart of a Titan, right?
Oh,
That was
he
the
wanted
thing he
some part
wanted.
of it, but I couldn't remember which part.
I'll take a heart.
I figured we'd know it when we saw it, you know?
How is a heart going to stop the machines from being frenzied?
Oh boy. So he didn't tell you anything, did he?
Absolutely not. I mean, we ordered a device from this man and he didn't build it, so I feel like he is not really valuing us as customers, and so why would he invest anything in a relationship?
Damn, that was brutally cold-hearted there, but accurate.
Well, to be fair, this is not in character because Mason does not know any of this shit. He can't. He physically can't. Isn't that the case that he's not allowed to until the Titans are dealt with? Like every factory has to work for
Yep.
making these frenzied robots. So his hands are kind of tied.
He literally can't, or all of his assets will be seized.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm
That's out of
positive
character,
all
though.
of these
That's
like
out of
robber
character.
barons are able to do things that circumvent the law.
Oh yeah, definitely.
totally.
But he said he won't because he is he's just that good of a guy.
Yes, just such a good person. Should have gone for yeah.
Uh-huh.
Such a good man. Well, we'll just take the heart of a Titan. Are there any good important parts of the Titan besides the heart? Like, do the lungs, I don't know, make you breathe cold breath? What about the eyes? Do the eyes let you see for miles? That'd be kind of cool.
Bet you that meat tastes pretty good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot. Not really. Titans do have minds, don't they?
Titans are so hard to study. Any encounter with them is sure to be deadly. That's why so little information about them exists.
They can't catch me. And then he
Deadly
taps.
for the Titan.
He taps the air, forgetting that his car is not by his side. Like,
That's good. That's pretty good.
She goes back to the scroll, takes a few more glances back to Archie. You see her blush a few times before she gets back to it. I have been studying a particular beast. I've named it the Floating Citadel. It's probably the strangest Titan we've ever encountered. Not really a Titan, but it's what I consider a Titan-class monster. It's not a huge behemoth, but rather a large fortress that's moving about on its own.
Wait, what's it made out of? Ice or like stone, metal?
It is a frozen fortress.
is it on wheels?
Or does it walk on legs?
It is a fortress made of stone and encased in quite a few feet thick of ice. The same thing we make, just as strong as the thing as the she kind of sats past the ground or the wall where she's staying next to. Just as strong as you make out of these spires. I initially thought it might have been floating about on an ice floe out in the water, but each day its gates open and unleashes hordes upon hordes of monstrosities upon the drifts. That is its only entrance, is that gate, and it only opens each morning. Whatever it is, monsters are coming from the inside of it.
Wait a minute. Does it open at the exact same time every morning?
My scouts say that it does. About dawn each morning, right as the sun peeks over.
And I take it no information has been gathered on the inside of the fortress.
I managed to convince a few slayers who believed my plight. They went inside one day, cutting through the horde. Oh, what else would they do, honestly? But the gate's shut, and I haven't heard from them since.
How long ago was this?
At least a month ago, I believe.
Oh, I doubt they're still in there.
Never send someone to do your own work, I suppose. All right. I can see how this is going to go. Mason, do you have your car ready?
I was unmuted. All right, you hear a beeping in the from like echoing from far. Yep.
Excellent. How about we take a little morning detour, just you and me?
Shrugs. Sure. And
Excellent.
I'm guessing as synchronicity runs out, he will try to. He will. It's almost like he's sliding down the stairs. Like just like if there's like a what is it called? What is the thing you know the little like
Handrail?
yeah, he slides he
Ramp?
literally just slides on the handrail down and perfectly anytime someone lifts their hands off he passes through and they put it back down. And then the car will be ready and literally in the on the stairs so when Archie comes out he can just hop right in.
All right.
It's like
Mina, do you have any questions regarding the inside of the fortress that you would like to have observed?
Well, I know plenty of the outside. I have a whole report and essay written on it. It's my own personal notes, though. Let's see here. Little offside. But so you are seriously considering going after this, going in there?
Well, you
Oh,
know,
it's
like
really
you said,
decided.
we're desperate. We're out of options. I guess some of us are being blackmailed.
She kind of having a proper audience. She kind of goes over and sits on a stool. Well, I'm not taken very seriously around here. Head researcher, tactical leader. It's a joke title. It roughly translates to Queen of the Weaklings. So when I urge importance of how bad this Titan actually is, they dismiss me, saying weakling monsters are no threat at all. You're adventurers, right? What do you think? Hordes of smaller threats or just one really big enemy? What do you consider to be the bigger threat?
Oh man, that's a really tough question. I mean, they're both pretty bad, but like,
Oh, definitely.
maybe if I could get a
hordes.
look at them, I'd be able to give a more informed opinion.
The hordes are the more dangerous threat.
See, I agree. These hordes cause more problems than one Titan we can deal with. But whatever. I think whatever inside is breathing life into the castle. An unlimited power source capable of charging multiple high-level magic, continuously summoning magic, I'd wager. This is what Lord Stager is after, and if you want it, then I can share my findings with you. She seems a little... She has her scrolls at the side. She's got her hand on them. She looks a little eager to share her information. Considering she's not taken very seriously, she looks happy that someone's willing to actually listen to her.
every academic ever.
Mina, one more quick question. How long ago did the Academy fall to ruin?
Oh, I cannot remember now. I left about 10 years ago, but it fell sometime afterwards.
Earlier you said about 6 years, right? I believe.
6 or 7.
That's what I believe, 6 or 7 years. The problem started after Archimedes left. Of course, when I left, when he left, I had no reason to stay myself.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
But I know for a fact that us two were the only ones that had keys to your tower. Considering how well of a mage you were, I don't think anybody's breaking those arcane locks.
And is there anything else noteworthy about the fortress?
She's kind of past the multitudes of scrolls she has beside her. Well, I can give you a full debriefing if you'd like. Everything I've been able to gather on it.
Please, let's.
Alrighty then. She stands up, her voice not able to break a certain kind of pitch to show excitement, but she goes over there, sits on a cushion, puts all aside, pulls out a few books with the aid of her servants, and they line books and scrolls in front of her. A few cushions are pulled around for the servant brings a few cushions to sit in front of her as she kind of walks over a bit and prepared to give a presentation on her research. Seems to be her personal project and is willing to give you a big long speech. Now, she starts by giving a very interesting introduction, but this captures your attention, but it slowly teeters off into pure factual information. And she carries on this way for quite a while.
Can I roll history check to see if I recognize the person attached to this, to see if I recognize her based on how she gave her lecture?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
You can't quite put your finger on it. She does seem very familiar to you. But you can't quite... It's just at the tip of your tongue, almost, so to speak. But you do know that she, from what she talks, she seems to be someone who might have been close to you. So she hasn't realized that yet, but that you don't remember her. But
right.
Now, she does go off on a little bit of a tangent, giving pure factual information. Is anybody who all is able to remain interested and follow along or even pay attention to this? Well, wasn't everybody give me intelligence checks here? Just regular checks.
I bet you Archie's gonna be super interested.
Well, if after a while you start to drift off, then you don't have to do the check. But
Oh, balls.
Oh, that's so sad.
Wow.
Big eyes.
I'm trying to access my character sheet, but I feel like it's lost for some reason.
that's probably why you can't recognize her. Is your mind's in 3 different places right now.
There's my spell. Hey, that's actually pretty good. All right.
Okay, I'll see. Aha!
Nice.
Ray's outsmarting Archie here. This is a bad show.
Everybody's the person who asked is the person who's least paying attention.
Yeah, your mind's a little preoccupied, trying to remember who she is, remembering the teetering memories of the academy, which you can't remember quite clearly, and trying to follow along with this this lecture she's giving. It's all a bit of a distraction for you.
Oh,
yeah.
By the way, that reminds me. Do you guys want to know something funny?
Okay.
I picked up this thing back when I was choosing my feats because I thought it'd be a funny way for Archie to have grown since the whole tree incident.
There you go.
Well, I mean, in fairness, I didn't actually pick this, but you play the hand you dealt.
Alright, yeah. So within the last month, you do actually recall everything, even though it's kind of you're not able to really pay attention to what she's saying. You are retaining it in some form or fashion. It's like people with who has perfect memory. They just because they can remember every letter of every page on every book doesn't mean they understand it. It's kind of what's happening here.
Yep. 20 in wisdom, but like a 4. Sorry, a 20 in intelligence, but a 4 in wisdom.
Yeah, something like that. But she carries on this way for a few hours, giving off her entire presentation. You all do manage to glean the following from everything she's kind of spitting out. The castle, it moves about on drifting ice flows. It's an ice floe itself that basically floats about. Approaching it may be dangerous. Falling into the flows through sullen ice would probably mean certain death for you, especially with how cold it is. The castle is closed and shut up throughout the day, and the entire fortress is frozen over. The only entrance is the gate it uses to unleash its hordes of monsters. It's actually encased in ice so thick you can barely even see the castle's silhouette. Keeps its gates closed, probably filling its walls with beasts until it's ready to unleash them. Considering how effective their spires work against the titans, the ice encasing its own walls would make it nearly impenetrable. And this is kind of what you kind of glean from this. She does tell you its location is on the... Let's see... Drifts. Oh, what's up here? Is at the edges of the depths, which is roughly 34 miles from here. And that's where they see it. That's where they always see it, is somewhere around in there. Because it moves around, it'll be hard to track down, especially in this kind of environment.
Oh man, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack, or a snowflake in a snowdrift.
Good.
Snowflake in a haystorm.
Yeah.
So she relays this information on to you. She looks a little... has a bit of a guilty expression on her face, but she'll just say, whatever your idea is, the best solution I've come up with is to enter after the horde has left, but before the gate closes. Less monsters to deal with on the inside, and it's your opportunity to get inside as well. Once inside, you're on your own. I couldn't scry inside, nor could I see with my arcane eye once it crossed the gate. Magic that crosses the threshold will be hindered.
I see. Do we know if all magic spells are hindered inside of the gate?
It may just be the ice and the wall, what the walls are made of, but once inside, there seems to be a bit of a disconnect.
Good thing I still got my gun.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
man,
is
it's
a
gonna be terrible if magic doesn't work in there.
This is a common running theme with the temples, and here's the return of this effect. It is basically what's inside is inside and outside is outside. The walls themselves interfere with magic from crossing through them. So clerics who get their spell lists from outside, who has to commune with their gods, repick it. Same with druids who have to kind of converse with nature to pull upon nature's wisdom to select their spells. They might have troubles reselecting spells once inside of here.
But arcane wizards will have no problem.
Yeah, this won't affect your spell casting in any way, but like things like sending, if you get your magic from outside sources, you might have troubles basically repicking spells and things like that.
I see. Well,
Rangers as well too, because they draw upon their their spells from nature as well.
Oh well, I'll say to Mina. Okay, now that you bring that up, before we go inside, I've got a call to make, and Mel will cast sending at the harpies that departed. The blue one. I can't remember her name. The important one.
Luna.
Hello?
Thank you. I
Oh,
didn't write this down. I'll cast sending at her and say, "Hi, Luna. It's Mel. How is it going?
This
Please
is
message back if you need help." And she can send a reply in 25 words or less.
Well, this will be a good way to end it, and we will retouch on this information as we get back to it. But the response you get is that they have come across, well, we've come across patrols of Arakakra. We're sneaking our way through, though it is very difficult. So they are searching for them out there, and they are fine for now, and they're making their way through.
All right. Well, I'll check back in with her later on. But yeah, that's all I want to do right now.
okay. Sounds
Man, I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun. And Archie has a fangirl now. Ah!
Yeah. At the end of all of this, because a few hours did pass her giving this lecture to you all, she went into very minor details that probably didn't even matter. Probably like why this part of it is shaded this color, but she seemed particularly interested on giving the most factual information in front of Archimedes. And if you want, I can give you another history check if you want at the end of it. Or we can
I
just
like
do it
that.
when we get back. It's whatever you want to do.
I'll just do it now real quick.
Alright. Since you have spent a few hours here with her, usually
Man,
normal... Yeah, you rolled a
it's
2
just
that time.
This one aspect is just like killing me.
Here is the worst thing about this, because in the first campaign, you rolled 3 history checks to recognize her, and she rolled 3 history checks to recognize you, and they were all shit rolls like they were here.
Oh,
This is why,
No way.
and this is why it never came up in the first campaign. It's because you all just could not recognize each other, and I figured it was, well, it's fate to be.
That's hilarious.
But this time, she at least recognized you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's hilarious. I had no idea that this was a thing that's been going on for this long.
Yeah, this was a whole sub-arc in the first campaign that never got to happen.
I feel like that made it better then. It's like now it's finally revealed.
Roleplay. That is roleplay right there.
Like she ended up doing her own thing and escaping through her teleportation circle and dealing with all that, and just kind of faded away, and the party moved on. And I was like, damn, I really hope they track her down and try to do something else with her, because I really want this to happen, and it just never got to be.
Oh, that is so funny.
Wow.
Does she then remember us from that time?
Oh yeah,
And
she knows. No, I don't think she does remember any, because the only 2 people that were there, I mean, it was actually only you and Iris isn't here.
Yeah, and like I don't look like what I used to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't look the same, so...
I mean, I figured it best not to open the can of worms of like, hey, we've met before! Oh, but you wouldn't remember me because now I look totally different now, and like, better not to dredge up the past like that, so Mel is not mentioning it.
Alright, yeah. Anyway, this is where we're gonna call it. I'm actually gonna end the stream here too. Looks like we lost someone just now.
goodbye, person.
Oh, it was Marley.
Yeah. Anyway, this is where we're gonna go. Yeah, he's got a dip. Probably not to interrupt us, which is very courteous for players and not interrupting each other. Alrighty. But I'm gonna end the stream here, and looks like we did get a few viewers here, which is pretty nice.
Oh no, I'm mortified.
And
Yay.
anybody wanna say goodbye to our viewers?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, viewer. Sorry about the whole.
Alrighty, let's see here. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. Kind of muted everybody. And we'll be playing next Thursday as well. Every Thursday, if you want to jump in and look at our shenanigans. I'll say this every time: we are no means by professional, but we do have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of shenanigans as well, as you can see with the car and other stuff. But we'll see you all next time, and I'll probably end up streaming next little bit, continuing on with my Atelier Raza playthrough. Alrighty, later everybody.